Hello and welcome to the Hawks Nest live stream show. My name is Brendan Kane, and I appreciate you for tuning in. Third show today, a little surprise show to you. We're going to make this usually a member show on Thursday night, but I figured, man, this game with the implications, it's the implication. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about the implication here, okay? It doesn't actually mean anything, it's just the implication, all right? I'm not saying we have anything sealed, just an implication. And that's what we're going to get tonight. Here is a little bit of maybe a firm review of the playoff picture. Do we find San Francisco going into that good night? Do we see the Rams continuing to round into form? It's both good and bad, I suppose, for your Seahawks either way, though I would lean tonight to us wanting to see the San Francisco 49er team tonight be the one that wins and carries this day, making this pathway a little bit easier. If you can for me this evening, please do hit that like button. We got some very interesting news from YouTube for down the line to next year. They'll be dropping for you guys here in the next commercial break. I wanted to show you, but thank everybody for checking out the stream tonight. We'll be covering the action a little bit play-by-play here. Purdy comes right out the gate with a little bit of a RPO action there, going at Witherspoon, and that ball will be incomplete. But we got some very cool news about next year, new feature that YouTube's going to roll out that I think will be very, 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 very big for this channel. And get you guys up to speed on that one here. But let's go live tonight rather than just a members only show and get everybody into the flux here, as I know we're all going to have our eyeballs on this one. All right, 2nd and 10, shotgun look for Purdy. Hand off here to Guerrero. Guerrero bounces it outside. Not a lot of way to go there. Rose and Bloom there. The linebacker able to track that thing down in space. Niners are going to be without Trent Williams, the left tackle, tonight. They do get back Bosa. They do get back Dre Greenlaw. We'll see how good Bosa's feeling at this point, but they also have a lot of that desperation factor at play here in this football game. Yeah, Debo still just isn't creating much separation. You see it on a route like that. That's a slant route. That's a little bit of a tougher route for a receiver to have to get separation on. It still doesn't take away from the fact that you just don't see him kind of generating that as much. Purdy going up over the top here. Wow. And we're going to get a flag on the play. We'll see who this is on. Doesn't look like it's down the field, probably holding. Yeah. Ball will be declined. So Rams with a quick 3 and out here. Interesting decision there by Purdy to wing that thing down the football field. That's not exactly his bread and butter as far as the throw goes. That was a decision, right? That was a choice. Need Brock Purdy to play good tonight, both so that the Niners win and that the Niners also intend to then pay him for sure. All right, snaps down. Punts up. Not belongs to punts. Rams will take over the 29-yard line. Yeah, it's a big game for the Rams to lose. To your point on that, Jordan. Huge game for the Rams to lose. First and 10. Cup going in motion. Greenlaw there on the tackle to start things right out here. Came down with a pin block by Cooper Kupp. Rams offense has been looking more quintessential Rams lately. That type of stuff there where you get the Kupp coming in motion. Could be a fly sweep. Instead, boom, stop there, pin the defensive end. 6 yards. Kyron Williams there slips. It's a bit of a rainy night tonight. I think we're going to get a holding call here on the Rams. But it's going to be a bit tough on the footing from the players, I think. Sounds like the rain's been going off and on a little bit. And we'll be holding on Alaric Jackson. Niners been kind of coming to this game not bad shape outside of course, Ayuk and Trent Williams. Second and 14. Kupp goes in motion. Shotgun look here for Stafford. He's looking, goes past his first read, back to his second read. Cooper Kupp is well guarded there by Lenore. Third and 14. Much of a route there from Cooper Kupp. His quarters just sort of ran up the field and stopped and turned around. Wasn't even a sudden stop, just sort of kind of turned around and looked and went. Third and 14. Play clock winding down here. Stafford, empty look. 49ers bringing some pressure. Almost picked off. Lenore had a chance there. Yikes. Stafford will give you a couple of those times a game. It will give you a few of those. You got to pick it off when you get the chance. Lenore knows he should have had that one. Stafford's got a piss missile for an arm, so it's hard to those defenders to reel it in. Oof. Oof. That's why they play cornerback. So quick 3 and out. Pick it right back to the Niners here. Jacob Cowing gets a couple yards up the field. Yeah, Lenore had that. That's as gifted a pick as you're going to get. He did such a good job in jumping the route there. Niners sitting on some of those in-cutting routes so far for the Rams. Let's see if the Rams adjust off of that to out-breaking routes or to go to the 9. That would be the adjustment if I was an offensive play caller on the sideline. So there's Lenore squatting on that end route. Stop and go. That'd be another thing that you could be implementing here from an offensive perspective to counter that from what you saw from a first possession. Yeah, Lenore's getting roasted in the chat. He can talk. He can't catch. He's yippity yappity, but I guess what do they call him? The hyena? I guess hyenas aren't able to catch very well. Hands like feet. Oh. It was an easy catch, though. I mean, again, our Stanford's got an arm, so it's coming in there with some RPMs on it, but that's one he's going to get definitely flame for during the week. If he picks that off, too, he might still be running. Yeah, Kupp kind of running. You're seeing the same thing, Jordan. Kupp kind of running some. Is he setting him up for later? But doesn't the body language does not look fully engaged, fully typical Cooper Kupp, who tends to run all of his routes at just max effort all times. I'm seeing kind of the same thing. Dazilla, how you doing, man? Good to see you in the house. Is a tie actually the best case scenario? No. It's kind of, there's so many different iterations of how you could have the rest of the games play out based off tonight with a tie from what the Cardinals could do, because they all play kind of each other a little bit. So it gets hard on how what would be what we could kind of project to be the way it would go. I still come down to the team that's essentially right at our heels is the team we want to have fall back as much as we can. We got Kittle in the open field. Kittle. Boy, went sideways. Looked if he just kept going upfield. He had another 10, 15 yards, and he went sideways into the defender. But still a big play down the field as they're believing they can get down into this Rams defense with Kittle. They already took one shot over the top, and they come right back here. A post route. Well, he just about dropped it, and Kittle continues to have one of his better years. Oh. I mean, I don't know, man. He kind of went sideways there, but yeah, Kittle's a beast. He's a really good player. And you have him running near 100%. He's hard to stop. Oh. Now we got Deebo Samuel running into his running back and tackling his own running back. Ouch. Corinda's looking at his guy like, my dude. No, you can't have my gold chain, Deebo. Look, I don't got it on, all right? I told you that in the locker room. Knocking him down as he goes in motion. Yee. There's some 49er fans blowing a ventricle on that one. 2nd down and 9. Back under center here from the 40-yard line. Purdy's going to change the play. Feeling a little bit of pressure coming from the high side here from the Rams. Let's see if he's adjusting. Yeah, he goes down to the low side. Counters back on a run play. Smart check there. I like it when quarterbacks make that kind of intelligent look at the play where I feel that pressure coming up over here. Let's check the run to the right. Probably just the same run play they had in place. They just moved it to the right. I think doesn't get you a lot of yards there, but that's still the smart kind of check that can lead to getting a lot of big plays broken by doing that. Hey, Gino, I think check to that big Charbonnet run this past week. 3rd down and 6. Purdy and shotgun, handoff inside here. Deebo Samuel on 3rd and 6. You must be playing this like this is 2-down territory. What is that play call? What is? Oh, they're going to trust Jake Moody on this one. 53-yarder. Okay, I guess he hit it. Wow. That play calling was that was interesting. 3rd and 6 with a read option to Deebo Samuel. You got a field goal out of it, I guess, is just enough, huh? Hey, Robert, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Concierge with Nolan, thank you for the $2 donation. It says, cheer for Bane to blow a hole open in the field. I wouldn't mind that. Whoops. A terrorist attack. Whoops. It swallowed all the best players from both teams. All that's left is the reserves on the sidelines. Shouldn't lie. That's way too dark. Kind of true though, Nolan. Kind of though, but really. Marty McFly in the house. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Thank you for the $12 donation. I appreciate you for that. Very kind of you guys for that. Good to see everybody in the house too. Oh, you come down, you hit that big play to Kittle, and you just come down with a run. And then to trust Jake Moody, who's not exactly been a picture of consistency this year. Whole kind of sequence there was a little bit strange. Not sure what to think about that. Many men, yeah, we want the Niners to win. Niners tonight. That's where I stand on this. Is I just think that I look at this and I go divisional wise. It's set up really nicely here for us if they lose. Because really I'm looking at it like get to that final game of the season against the Rams and have that final game of the season not matter. And if you lose one game and you're 10-6 and they're 2 games, I think if you can just find that way to get out there to where, it might take you having to go undefeated over these next run of games, but they lose today, They have the Jets, they have the Cardinals before they play us. Niners still have to play the Lions. They got to go on the road to the Dolphins. And they have the Cardinals at the end of the season. So I think the Rams do have a bit of a slightly easier road. I'm not saying it's a much, much easier path, but would like their path to be made a little bit tougher by losing here today. There's the return by the Rams. They'll take it out nicely to the 34-yard line. King Bomber says, "Oh my God, Brandon, you're live." I'm live. Live. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Niners. What's the YouTube news? Yeah, let me give you guys this. Check this out. Do. You guys kind of read it down here on the side, and I'll read it out to you here. We got to drop back to pass here, quick throw, quick catch, insane catch. Puka Nakua grabs it off the back of a guy's helmet. I don't even know if he saw the ball. I think he just, like a blind man feeling it there. I think he just felt the ball on the back of the helmet. Just, what a ridiculous catch. Oh my gosh, what a ridiculous catch. It's for only about 8 yards, but it's the best 8-yard reception you'll ever see in your life. Stafford, handoff inside here. Niners all over it. Playing with some intensity today. Certainly partly buoyed up a little bit there by Bosa and Greenlaw. Let's bring up third down. Third down, 3rd and 4. 8:53 to go in this first quarter. Both teams have had a crack at it offensively. Stafford and shotgun. 4 wide. Mirrored condensed splits on either side. He's going to bring Atwell into motion. Dropping back to pass. Oh, another interception. Oh, guys, another pick dropped by the Niners. Boy, this might haunt them eventually. Stafford threw another pick into the middle of the field. This was an easier interception than the last. Hufanga is out there with a cast on his arm that's so big it's almost down to the bottom of his ankles on his right hand, and he just couldn't reel this thing in. Oh, goodness. Boy, Stafford stared that one down all the way. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. John Naylor, thank you for the $5 donation, John, and all your support in recent weeks. Really appreciated. Says, Brando, can we hear Christopher Walken on getting over feeling dirty to root for the Niners? Sure, John Naylor. I woke up this morning, took a shower, John, still dirty. I went back, John, scrubbed, shampoo, conditioner, of course, because Christopher Walken doesn't go without conditioner in his hair. And still yet, I get out of the shower and find myself dirty, feeling even more dirtier. I don't know why. And then I realized, John, oh yeah, I've got a root for the 49ers. Again, in the situation, no, don't make me do it, please, God, no. And he looked back at me and said, Chris, take another shower. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Still, it didn't work. I'm so clean now, you couldn't believe it, but yet dirty, John. I don't know what to think. Thank you for the $5 donation. Christopher's very torn on this one. He's had a hard day with this one, having to make his peace about this going this way. So it's horrible. It's the worst thing you could ever have happen to you. Rooting for the Niners? No. It all costs, John. it'll cost. 3rd down and 4 here for the Niners. They're pecking away here on this first drive. Shotgun look for Brock Purdy. Rams threatening a blitz, drop out of it. Ram climbing on the back of Kittle there. Cameron Curl, the safety, doesn't get called. Look kind of pass interference-y to me. Let's see if he climbs on top of that back before that ball arrived. Yeah. Yeah, there's contact there before the catch. Oh, look, the Rams are getting a call. Richard Stewartson, thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate you for that. And then John, thank you again for that $5. He says, thank you, Brando. Anytime, man. Anytime. I'm going to get through this game somehow. And if they get the win, so be it, then fine. Okay. Roll, baby. Ooh, nice roll. Yeah. Am I the only one on that one? Was everybody else on that? Are we all on board on that one? That was a pass interference, right? He climbs up on his back, contact before the ball. Can't go through man to go to the ball like that. Yeah, the Rams always get called. Water's wet, right, Nick? Ethan says, Hawks Nest, what would Jerry think when Schneider calls Parsons? Hello. You want what, John? What'd you say? Who? I know we don't have no cap space. You want Micah? You want Micah? It's going to cost you, John. I'm going to want it all. I'm going to all them draft picks. I'm going to hand pick me a couple players from you. You're going to take my best. I'm going to get a little bit of a taste of your best. We're the Cowboys, okay? You don't get over on the Cowboys. And already we got the Joey Galloway trade on the books with y'all. You got us once. You got Jerry once. You ain't getting Jerry twice. There's an old saying. It's known down in Mississippi. I think it comes from Texas. Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on John, you ain't fooling me again. All right? You ain't gonna Galloway me again. They still tell that to me in Always here. I said, Jerry, remember the Galloway trade? We can't do that now. Oh, you want to do this, Jerry? Remember the Galloway trade? Oh, Jerry, that's a crazy deal. You can't do that because of the Joey Galloway trade. I'm never letting Seattle do that to me again. I'll never get into that. How much, John? And I get him? Oh, you got me thinking now, Johnny. You got me thinking. Jerry doesn't want to do it, but Jerry's drawn in. We're the Cowboys. We got to consider all possibilities. I love Micah. Jerry don't make money like he used to. Jerry was printing money in the 90s. The well's running dry. The cow ain't producing any more milk. The news I was pointing to, as you guys can see it here on the screen, which I thought was pretty cool, was, in fact, we've seen watch time of YouTube source content on TV grow over 30% over year as users visit YouTube to get their lineups of clips, highlights, and post-game interviews all in one place. We've also began piloting Watch With, our newest feature that enables creators to provide live commentary, analysis, and real-time reactions to games and events. We got a little throw out of the backfield here on 1st and 10. It transforms your favorite creators into sportscasters. While the feature is still in its early days, get ready for this experience coming to a TV near you. So many have asked for me on this and wanted to see this. I never thought this would be a possibility of something in the future. It's definitely sounding like it's coming for at least 2025. And that's really cool. Certainly will help for live play-by-play games, giving us a real inroads to audiences if they'll let me do this kind of watch-along thing like this, as many of you kind of have requested it. So I was blown away to see it. Hand off here to Kyron Williams. He's going to gain about 3 or 4 yards. I was blown away to see that they were putting this out there this quickly, as this would be something I think would take like 5 years for them to finally maybe adopt or think about, if ever. But smart of the NFL, smart of YouTube to kind of put this kind of potential package together. And I'll keep you guys up to date as I hear more about it and how it will work and what it will mean. But it could be nothing but good for the channel and us in the future on doing those kind of live play-by-play situations. Jerry's a fan of George, all right? I told him that saying, okay? Okay, Lethal Lance, I said to him, I said, George, listen to this saying now. Okay, it's from Tennessee. We might be from Texas. It's a saying that's timeless. All right, that's the point. It can test not the time of its strength, and it will still stand true. Texas, true. Dallas Cowboy, true. America, dream, true. Got a quick throw out here on third down that will go incomplete. Stafford a little bit off here. Kupp seems a little bit off here. 5:16 in the first quarter here. Another punt. Boy, Cowing looked like he was surprised he had the room he did in front of him to work with. Jeremiah says, funny as hell, bro. Thank you, Jeremiah. Appreciate it. Jerry gonna get over one of these days. A saying's a saying, and it's right when it's wrong. Johnny S. better give me that bag for Micah. You gonna give me Micah? I'm gonna give you Micah. You better give me that bag. That cowboy bag. First and 10 for the Niners here from the 22-yard line. Under center is going to be Brock Purdy. Dropping back to pass. Gets it out there to Juwan Jennings, who's really had a real solid year. Yeah, Jeremiah, I think Puka's the new number one at this point for the Rams. Cooper just, I mean, you do wonder with the guy that's had the amount of lower leg injuries he's had, with the amount of mileage, taken off and how much they've used him, if he can be still that kind of guy. And, the team's already kind of flirting with the prospect, if they weren't in competition mode right now around the trade deadline. A lot of rumors of maybe the potential of them moving Cooper at the deadline. A little jump pass here from Brock Purdy that'll go for about 4 or 5 yards on first down. Purdy whipping out the 1957 jump pass there. He's digging deep on that one. But Puka's moving into that ridiculous status of things, especially with the fact that we've really learned with him and Cooper both on the field at once that he can work from the outside and be successful. And he's not just a slot guy. Second down and 5. Purdy again back under center here. Hand off to Grendo right up the middle there. Nice job of keeping his feet moving and spinning off the first tackler there. First down. Herbicide Ayuk is out for the season. Out for the... Yeah, he blew... That knee got TNT'd. Hoping him good recovery. Steven, you're so funny, Brandon. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate you. All right, we got a shotgun here for Brock. Back in again to Garendo, right up the middle. 4 or 5 yards there. Niners getting some push to the line of scrimmage. Richard says, please, thank you for the $2 donation. Richard says, please read my comment about the Niners. Let me take a look here. Okay, the biggest win of the season is beating the Cardinals. The closest to us, the Hawks. I don't think that was the one you meant. Maybe that was. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. Shotgun, 2nd and 6. Handoff, play action actually. Nice play action there. Errant throw though. Juwan Jennings, spring 3rd down and 6. Richard says, we need the Niners to win this because it'll make them both go on a 7 losses to 7 wins. Then it's only between us, Hawks, and the Cardinals. I like it, Richard. I would tend to agree there. I mean, it's obviously built based on us two at that point. Make sure that we kind of take care of business over the next 3 games and how we handle what we do. But I think the the line on this points back to again and again that it's the Niners that's who you want walking away with the win here and coming away with this victory. I think that's what suits our Hawks best on this. One more loss, and especially that Rams team nipping at our heels, and especially that Rams team, another jump. 3rd and 6, he's going to get sacked here as Brock Purdy as he did a little jump pass move like he was going to do it, but he kept the ball this time and got taken down by Kobe Turner, who's just one of those defensive linemen for the Rams who's having a hell of a season from that inside. Boy, nice job. They move those twists and stunts as well as anybody in the league. But yeah, I agreed, Richard. I come back to it on that and say you get some 7 losses, you're at 5 losses. I think that those teams are still kind of in it because you can always get to the point with this, Richard, where the Rams go to 7 losses today and we lose 2 of the next 3 games, or even we lose 1 of those next 2 games. So then they're just 1 game behind us in the standing point with the 7 losses versus our 6. And then they win against us. They would then, I believe, have the tiebreaker, depending on how, of course, this all plays out the rest of this year. But they would then theoretically have still the tiebreaker against us as far as the divisional. It can get kinked up on this one, especially with the Cardinals brought into the mix on this one. But all the roads lead back to, Richard, that we just need them to lose the Rams on this one. That's the best pathway for this. What the F is wrong with Debo? Yeah, AC Journey, we want the Rams to win, man. I'm not proud about it. Brings me no happiness to say it. And thank you, Richard, again, too, for the double donos. Purdy's hopping like a bunny. I know, dude. This new jump pass move. I thought that they retired that in 1976. You go back and watch all those black and whites, those quarterbacks are all doing the little. Imagine watching Brock as a Niner fan doing that, being like, we're going to pay $60 million for that. 60? A year? A year for that. Okay. The Birdie hop. I'm gonna give Jesse a hard ass time for the Purdy bunny hop. I'm stealing that. That's going to the round table on Tuesday. The Purdy bunny hop. Didn't know he had that in his bag, Jesse. William Leonard, thank you for 32 months as a Hawks Nest Ring of Honor member. I appreciate you for that. Says, I'm not rooting for the 49ers tonight. I'm simply supporting our guy Jesse at Last Second Sports. That's fair. That's very fair. Lethal says, how did we lose to both these teams again? They caught us at a different time, We were younger. We were green. We didn't know the ways of the world at that point. Yeah, please pay that man $60 million. That's why that's the double dip reason too in this game. It's like, yeah, let Purdy get another great performance in this game. Give him that 60 mil. Give him that 60 mil. Hand it over. And it does look like the rain is really starting to come down now. This is definitely going to impact offenses. The Rams taking back over here after the punt at the 16-yard line. Ooh, first tackler missed there. Yeah, Dre Greenlaw back there rolling around. They're showing some highlights of him. He's looking comfortable. I think we might have an injury here with... Is our inside linebacker beat up after this play? Yeah. He says just give him... Warner comes off the field here. Definitely cannot afford to lose him. Oof. Boy, he twisted around. Ah! Yay. That did not look right. We'll see if he's out just one play on that. Oof. Oh, another tip. And Stafford, he made a deal with a witch before this game. It's the third ball that's just up in the air for grabs. I think he sacrificed a goat in the locker room. Check Stafford's locker room for candles and incense. Another tip ball up in the air. Leprechaun lucky mother effer. All right, 3rd and 7. Rams 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far. 49ers showing a blitz. Warner coming. Wow. Boy, Stafford with a great throw over the Robinson. And in Robinson there, you see the difference of him to a Puka or Koopa Cup. That's a catchable pass over there. Yeah, that's what McVay's looking at right now. I'd like to see a replay on that. I'd reckon to guess that was catchable. Robinson just doesn't have the hands out there for that kind of throw. You saw Stafford last week against the Bills make that throw a couple times. Cowing picks it up on a bounce here. He's going to take it back up to the 30-yard line on the punt. You saw him making in the good weather there and great conditions, making that throw and able to complete that pass. In these kind of conditions here today, and that's your 3rd, 4th receiver, Robinson couldn't reel it in, but I would reckon to guess that that was catchable. And the weather is definitely impacting this. As we saw a couple of weeks ago with the Cardinals-Seahawks game, now when the wind, wet weather, you get down there in these areas at this time of year, it's going to kind of close down offenses, and it becomes a little bit more about a line of scrimmage battle / who can kind of just bust the random play through where guys are slipping and sliding. Sure says, and then I became a Packer fan in 35 years and finally a Hawks fan for the rest of my life. No other teams. Oh, good. Oh, you're not going to be touring this week, Richard. Did you know I used to be a 49er fan back in the late 80s, early 90s? You came to the light, Richard, you know. Alcoholics, sober up. Eventually, you find your footing. A little screenplay here set up by the 49ers, snuffed out by Hooked. Hooked. Both teams looking for offense here. The rain just coming down. McVay looking like he entered a... What's that? Bubble screen here to Deebo Samuel. Low throw by Purdy. Debo's able to reel it in and just sort of fall forward a couple of yards. Might be the last play. If I'm Shanahan, I just let this thing roll out. You controlled the clock in the first quarter. Your defense played well. Just lean on that. The Purdue bunny hop. Isn't that a dance? I mean, we're going to make it a dance. Mike said, I've never had Purdy above Geno, but put Geno on that team and they win one of those Super Bowls. Guarantee it. I think it's very, very possible. Yeah. AC Journey, so thank you for the $2 donation. Is there truth to us looking at Trevor Lawrence? Hard to say. You know, there's always at this time of year, what is innuendo? What is somebody that's drumming, especially in this day and age, AC, when people are really trying to put clicks together. Everything's anonymously sourced. You know, it's very easy for me to sit here to you guys and say, oh, I got a source that's telling me blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I can't tell you the source. Just trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. And that makes it, if it was hard in prior ages of football to try to disseminate truth, fact from fiction, and these kind of rumors that are out there, even more so now, I think it's even harder to do. In looking at the situation a couple of weeks ago, what stood out to me with the Trevor Lawrence situation, as far as close as we can kind of align ourselves to the facts of the matter at hand, are it was a deal that's not typically structured up like some of these deals given to these quarterbacks who have been on these first quarter contracts that you're taking into the second contract, being that you dumped a bunch of early bonus money into the deal. The Jaguars did not. They instead put a little bit of bonus money in the part of the deal, but a lot of it was option bonus money 3, 4, 5 years down the span, allowing at that point essentially giving the Jaguars an out in the deal to where they could move him to another team to eat those option bonuses. There are guarantees on the deal. Trevor Lawrence is going to get the money, but they can move it to somebody else to take on that, that responsibility at that point, or to be able to, if they like Lawrence, to, it's a good deal for them. And from the Jaguar standpoint, they're moving on to another new coach. This would be, I believe, Lawrence's third coach in there. The team could be looking at, turning some things around there as far as how it's worked, and that the new coach may need to move things around. I've thought that a new coach coming in there would want Lawrence and the opportunity of you being able to work with him, and that would be a draw for potential coaches that they'd be looking out across the landscape. But that doesn't mean it has to play out that way, and it's probably a little bit of a fluid situation. So I don't know that there's anything really true to the rumors. It could be also just as well as like the Seahawks leaking some rumors on this one because they're trying to get out ahead of the Geno Smith negotiations, and they want to make sure that they're not having Geno Smith and his people maybe feel like we don't have anything else as another option to go to. Like, what are you going to do other than Geno? Who else are you going to go to? Sam Howell? And you can go, well, we've got a potential deal in the works with Trevor Lawrence. You still want 50? No, 37 is good. 37, John. 37 is good. I was always at 37, really. I know I said 50, but I always knew it was 37. Just negotiation. That's just what you do, right? You float it out there. You run up the flagpole. Right, John? Right? Where's the contract? Can we sign it? I can sign it right now if we want. 37. 37 is great. Nope, 37 is really good. So maybe a little bit of trying to light the fire under those negotiations to get them done at a little bit of a steadier pace, perhaps, too, as well. Richard, thank you for the $5 donation. He's responding to me telling him that he saw the light. He says, "You're right, brother. I was stupid then." Hey, we all have our young mistakes, man, Richard. We all have that. We all go through those turbulent times where we just got to grow. Nobody comes out the shoot right into the final form. It's like a young Hawk prospect in the first year, man. You can't judge him on that. You got to give him a little bit of time. Purdy, under pressure. Boy, nice throw. I wonder if we're going to get offensive PI here. Flag comes flying out. It's either going to be defensive hold or offensive PI. Nice throw there by Purdy. He had to layer that in the rain there on an out route. Rams team does not look comfortable in the rain. Yeah, they're going to get him from Hollins at Keelio Witherspoon. Akelio. Oh, yeah, he got up on that jersey. He got up on that thing. You're standing kind of close. Steady. Jawan Jennings has been steady. First down, though. Very good throw by Purdy there. That kind of throw in the rain is good in good conditions. That can be difficult to get that one off. Right up around the 50-yard line here. 14:40 to go in the second quarter. Hand off to Garendo. Bounces past the A gap into the B gap, and it's nowhere to go. Art says the first step is admitting you have a problem, B. Yeah, really, Richard. Some people, Richard, never figure it out, Some are locked in there forever. And they've spent almost a lifetime now without a championship, depending on when they were born. Jeffrey Thistle, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, you want to know who can throw in the rain? Geno. Yeah, he's got those big paws, big arm, good size. Doesn't have to have all four of his feet planted to get the throw off. Boy, they went after definitely a little bit of pushing the ball down the field from the perspective of the Niners in this one. Tried to get in there with Cameron Curl down the field on Kittle. Ball just floats up in the air. That's not Brock Purdy's game. They've hit him on a post route, but this is the second 9 route that they've tried to hit to Kittle. Purdy's not that. He's not that guy. he can't, like, you can see it there. The ball, like, if he puts that out ahead of Kittle, he gives Kittle a real true opportunity to run underneath it and go get it. But instead, he puts it back on the defender because he can't push the ball down the field. Ooh. Oh, what a throw. He got it right in there to Jawan Jennings. Late throw over the middle, and he just fit it in there. Jennings could not reel it in. Slippery. The rain is coming down, so not easy conditions to play within right now. But Brock, like I said, he can make some throws. It's just that 9-route throw over the top to Kittle is not it. They must just love their mismatch there with Curl and Kittle. The Kittle curl. Ooh, down it. Ooh, nice. Niners down it at the 2-yard line. At the 2. Nolan with another $5 donation. Thank you for that. Nolan says, either way, Jake is going to have 20 minutes on how the Rams still win the Super Bowl. Good luck, Jesse. Yeah, best of luck out there to Jesse tonight. And we're somehow or another going to be like, okay, the loss happened, but I saw something out there from our right cornerback that I haven't seen all season. And I know now what I didn't know then. Handoff inside from the 2-yard line. Whoa. Greenlaw in there. Yeah, that was Greenlaw again, just giving a nice little missile. Looked like Kyron was going to start going forward, and he just went suddenly backwards. Thank you, Nolan, for the $5 donation. You speak the truth, brother. Chris says full work day, Brandon. Yeah, this is definitely a full work day. Got our 3rd show we're rocking. I'm here for it, though. I get a couple days off tomorrow and Saturday. I'm just got to get that Ernest Jones video out. A nice run there by Kyron Williams. Bounces off first contact just through the hole and peels his way around to go get the first down. Rams get a little bit of breathing space here. Mike Skinner, thank you for the $2 donation. Says, best channel on YouTube. What does a Rams tie do for us? Well, I think that it doesn't necessarily work in our favor. You know, the tiebreaker situation goes out the door there. And if you have one less loss than them, then you're good. We'll walk through it here on the next commercial. Nice tackle in the backfield by Hufanga. He was all over that play. Operating with a cast on his hand. Making it happen, though. Hard to wrap up with that cast. And the conditions in the stadium are definitely... Rams got 33 yards of offense. Another handoff inside here. Upended just past the line of scrimmage. Warner there with a nice tackle after just a couple yard gain. Niner defense came to play today. Intensity, hitting, tackling. You could also say this Rams attack is, both offenses are not built to play in these kind of conditions. But Rams attack, especially with Stafford and some of the precision passing attack and trying to get his ability to put the ball in the exact location of a spot with velocity down the field. Harder to catch those kind of passes in these kind of conditions, much less get the ball as an exact spot. 3rd down and 10. Dropping back to throw, pressure bearing down. Stafford's going to be able to go run for a first down. Wow. Stafford able to go get the first. I suppose you're not going to have a spy on him, huh? Probably not having a linebacker sit in the middle field, keeping an eye on him. Niner pass rush just got floating all the way past him. Opened up a big old hole in front of him. Boy, and he lowered his head. How about the tough Stafford there? Knows he needs the first down, 3rd down, so try not to slide there and make sure he goes just short. And he paid the price. His neck's going to feel that one tomorrow. First down and 10. Ball on the 26-yard line. Bubble screen here out to Puka. Puka with a nice run after the catch there. Bosa with the tackle. Gain of about 8 or so. Mike Skinner, thank you for the $2 donation. Again, thanks for that. He says, what the tie? So tie, let's take into it here, Mike. You know, I mean, you get to the end of the year, you're at 10 wins. And let's say the Rams loss takes you to 7. So if the Rams are at 6 in a tie, you know, you're still up, you know, what's creek. If you're at, 10 and they're at 7 in a tie, then I guess it would be 10 for them, it'd be 9 or whatever. 9-7 in a tie would be how it would go for them. That first down run by Kyron Williams there, only getting about 3 or 4, but just enough. It wouldn't bet. This is where that, to me, Mike, the tie thing doesn't really benefit you too much, because it would really take you having still what is essentially that 2-game rip over the top going into that final game with the Rams where it all breaks down. Because they go, 7-6-1, and then they're 8-6-1, and 9-6-1. Then they play you, they beat you, they're in at that point. Dropping back to pass to Stafford. He's got a long time to look around here and survey. Throws it over the top of Puka. Another ball kind of floated on Stafford there. It's not been in his sharpest here. I've looked at the scenarios, though. I can't quite find one there where it makes sense on the Hawks' perspective, unless the Rams have kind of lost that extra game, Mike. But thank you for the kind words. Appreciate you for that. Wow. Stafford just kind of throwing that to no man's land. Second down and 10. Handoff inside here. Pulled down from behind, but a nice little gain of 4 or 5 yards. Keon Lund, thank you for the $5 donation, Keon. So glad our wide receivers don't complain. AJ and Debo on teams on a 10-game win streaks and 3/4 of a season from being in the Super Bowl. DK and JSN would never do that. Bums. Indeed. Indeed, they it's definitely the AJ Brown you're hearing, not always on the best page, potentially there with Hurts. Third down and 5 here. Empty look for the Rams. Pressure. He's going to just try to throw this away. Is Stafford. That's going to be an incomplete pass, and the Rams are going to have to punt this one. But yeah, you hear rumors about the fact that AJ Brown's not happy out there with Philadelphia, and you definitely got into some diva-ish vibes here with Debo, and somehow he's kind of carried himself post getting that contract. And that's part of what I love about DK is that people want to try to dress some moments up that he's had as being those kind of moments when they're not actually that. Tends to be him just trying to play really hard when he does have something go wrong. Be it the fumble or be it he's blocking to this, and it tends to be trying to do too much rather than it's a guy who's taking his foot off the gas. And with Brown, if he's out there complaining about that with Hurts and his productivity and whatever else, and I can kind of understand that because Hurts is limited as a quarterback. If you're a great wide receiver, that is going to be tough. At the end of the day, like you say, they're winning. That's what matters most. You should, when you're winning and you're top of the division, then shouldn't be really looking at your production at that point. We know with receivers, they sometimes can be wired like that to do that anyway. They go, yeah, we don't care about that. We still want our, but you're winning. Yeah, but I want my touches and I want us winning. Like, okay. It's a ridiculous standpoint to operate from. But yeah, we don't have guys like that. I think we just got good soldiers who get after it every week. Thank you though, Keon. Appreciate you for that. The thing with Jalen Hurts is that when I say that he's like a running back playing quarterback, he really is. And I think that that's when you see those little things coming out of that situation between him and AJ and with them still winning. And I'm not taking AJ's side on this. I don't like diva-ism, whether it's in a quarterback or a wide receiver. But I can also say that I do also understand that where that could get frustrating, where your first quarterback's Ryan Tannehill, and then your next quarterback's Jalen Hurts, who there's certain throws he can make fine, but he can't make all the throws all the time. You know, you can fool some of the people some of the time. You can't fool all the people all the time. And that's Jalen Hurts. And I'm sure at this point, Brown's pretty well acquainted with it. Like, oh, I got open on this coverage. He just can't make that throw. I get over here, then he's just not going to be able to make it. Las Vegas, we're rooting for the Niners tonight. Sure would be nice to have a little bit more than a 3-0 lead in this first half. From a Rams perspective, you got to feel pretty good if you come out of this half with just down 3 points, considering you've had two plays that could have been interceptions pretty easily for the Niners. You had at one point pretty deep into the second quarter, about 30 total yards. I think they're still probably sitting on, let's see here. Yeah, Stafford's got 10 passing yards for the game. They've at least found a little bit of room in running the ball where they've got 50 yards on the ground in this game. It's not like the Niners are doing anything on their side either, but you're right in the hunt and in the thick of this here still, if that's the way this goes in the first half. Lil Lance says, trying the Prime Vision for the first time. Oh my God, it's actually amazing. Watching the All-22 in real time. Yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to flip to that kind of vision there. Sometimes it's a bit much for me. It gets overwhelming, especially trying to do play-by-play with it, but it is a pretty cool little feature there. Throw out here into the flat. Juwan Jennings with another drop. Yeah. Offense is hard. It's hard in the rain. Niners deep in their own territory here at the 10-yard line. 2nd and 10 after the drop by Juwan Jennings. 2 tight end look here for them. Pitch wide. Garendo lowers his head. Rams all over it. Kind of telegraph where that run was going. Jordan, thank you for the $5 donation. Appreciate you for that, brother. As well as being a member of the channel. You guys are awesome in that respect, as being members and donating to the channel as well. Very, very kind of you for doing that. I get AJ's complaints as I see Jalen not being able to be on time and misses easy 5 to 10 yards. Yeah, I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one seeing it with that. Boy, there we go. Throw it to Kittle. He'll catch it. I've had a couple of throws here from Purdy that have been impressive in this half. I mean, he's not been great, but there's those kind of throws where it's in cutting routes or to the middle of the field and timing routes. Even in these conditions, he can make those throws. You know, he can get his feet kind of fully set there. Not like it's got a lot of accuracy on it or he's putting in the perfect spot, but just in these elements, just complete the ball. That in itself is something. They get themselves a little bit of breathing space here now. Real condensed split here with Deebo Samuel. Handoff here to Garendo. Garendo trying to bounce it outside. Nowhere to go, though. Looked like Byron Young was out there. That was a younger verse. I can't see if it's an 8 or the 0. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. One or the other there. Yeah, it's Young. I'm guessing that Shanahan will tell him, yeah, he got pressed outside by the linebacker sitting in the hole. 2nd and 11. Over the top here goes Purdy and another 9 ball. What are the Niners doing, dude? Why are we trying to throw a 9 route, Shanahan? This is Brock Purdy. He doesn't do that. It's like asking the guy in the 80s on the dance floor doing his move, right? And being like, hey, dude, I want you to start breakdancing, dude. Can you do some breakdancing now? He's like, no. This is my move. That's all I got. No, breakdance now. They're asking Brock to breakdance. Run, Brock. Run. He gets sacked. Kobe Turner, is that another one for Kobe? Rams are going to have to pay all their defensive linemen. All the money. I don't. Why are you running 9 routes? What do we do? It's pouring down rain. This is the game you're going to unleash the 9 routes of Brock Purdy? This is the game you're going to show off the... Oh, let's show them that full skill set. We've been keeping this thing under wraps here for a while. We've been keeping the lid on this one. Let's bring it out tonight in the pouring elements. Jordan, I feel the same way as you. I'm glad you see it the same way a little bit with it. It's not that Hurts is bad, but he's limited. And I do just feel like he's a running back playing quarterback position. There's no artistry to what he's doing. He's figured out this little niche-y way he can play the position. But if you're a guy as a wide receiver and you're looking at your career and it's going to get into that mode here where it is going to wind down from a perspective of an A.J. Brown, does that start to get a little bit frustrating when you're dealing with that guy? And it's probably one thing if you're stacking true blue Super Bowl championships, but if you're also thinking, man, this is going to bite us in the butt at a time or another, or this is going to hold us back at a time or another, maybe that would cause you to be a little bit frustrated with it. And we'll see how that situation goes into this offseason, Jordan, and what the Eagles, choose to do with AJ. And because if there is some dissatisfaction, I would imagine that Roseman is not shy about pivoting or moving if he's got to go do that. He'll go do that, and I imagine he'd find a suitor if he did. But Jalen's just restricted to me. I watch him play, and he's always in that, one read. How can I use my legs? There's not a lot of progression reading going on. If he doesn't have all of his 2 feet planted in the earth, well balanced on his throws, it's going to come off a little wonky. Accuracy and velocity are a little in question. Duquan Quack, thank you for the $5 donation. Very kind of you. Says, can't wait for the Sunday, though. Playoff caliber offense versus a young up-and-coming defense is going to be a good game. The game's going to be a huge test for the Hawks. Agreed, Duquan. Big test for the Hawks. And that offense is able to get you in a variety of ways. They're not limited. Cardinal offense, past couple weeks, there's some limitations there that you can confine them to. With the Packers, they're a team that doesn't have to be pass happy. They can run it down your throat all day. And if you gear up to stop the run, you bring the extra defender in the box. They've got guys like Watson on the outside that can burn you deep and find big plays down the field. And Jordan Love's got the kind of arm, even in the outdoor, even in the conditions, who can make all the throws to get the job done too, as far as a passer on Sunday as well. So I agree. This is as big a test as we've had this year on that offensive side of the ball. And we'll see if this team can keep the good times rolling, keep this momentum going. Definitely glad you're coming into it at the better health as you've been, and you got Uchenna back in on this with the mix of that, and that part I really like. But it will be a test, Duquan. It will be a test. 1 second here. Richard says, I do believe the Hawks will still need a young quarterback and forward players more in back line for next season. I believe in Mike McDonald. He's a young mind, and he knows what he's doing. Eventually, you're going to have to do something at the quarterback position there, Richard, that's for sure. And the time will come on that decision here soon, and even if you do re-up with Geno, there's potential you go out there and you look for the waiting in the wings guy, A little bit like we saw like the Falcons. Even though they signed Cousins this last offseason, they still went out there and grabbed Penix. Wu-Tang Financial, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, it feels unclean having to root for the Niners. That's what Christopher Walken was saying earlier, Wu. I was saying, I was showered 5 times today. I'm still dirty. Dirty like a pig in mud. Why? I'm rooting for the Niners. Oh. Same myself, man. 2nd and 8 after a short run on first down. Rams just kind of coming back, almost acknowledging we can't get anything done here in the passing game. Let's just try to let's just try to roll over this 49er team in the run game. And they're staying committed to it right now. So I don't know if it's just an acknowledgement if you can't throw in these conditions, but the last couple drives now have been a heavy amount of running. That's 14 rushing attempts for them to 10 passing attempts in this game. Stafford only 11 yards throwing here. And that rain just seems like it keeps coming down harder and harder and harder and harder. 3rd down and 1. Niners again rocking that wide 9 on a 3rd and 1. Ugh. 1st down. You can just see that coming. You got that heavy front from the Rams. Niners in the front 4 with a wide 9. Defensive line spread out. They need a yard. How do you stop it? Just my opinion. Thank you for the $2 donation. Is a tie okay too? I hate rooting for either win. There's a heavy amount of push in the chat tonight for a tie. I love my Seahawks faithful. There's so much hate in their heart that even if it would benefit highly more, it's like, no, a tie. It's as far as I can go for abiding by a rooting for the opposition. I love that. Another run, 4th one in a row here for the Rams. Again, they just are looking like, look, we can't throw the ball here. And that clock's going to wind down in the 2nd quarter quick here to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But I don't think a tie is going to help us out too much. Just my opinion. Unfortunately, I just think a tie is, there's not really a way or a feasible way I can see it working out in our favor coming off the end of this one. But I love where your heart's at on that one. I don't like rooting for either team either. 2nd and 7, Niners continuing to rock that wide 9 here. And then you're seeing the Rams come out with the 1 tight end, and then they bring their wide receiver down into block. Yeah, good job there. Nicely done by 27, Jair Brown. He worked right off of the block of Cooper Kupp. So you got the wide 9. They're bringing down. They got the tight end in there. So you have 5 men on the line of scrimmage. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. You got 5 men on the line of scrimmage. You got 4 of the Niners down there on their defensive line. You're bringing then Kupp down there. That's to give them 6 in the run game, and then you're just coming downhill in power. You're running duo at the point of attack. So this is a test here for the Niner defense on this game with the way they're running this now. Kyron, 14 carries, 44 yards. It's not like he's going off, going crazy, but even in these conditions, almost the 3 yards on a cloud of dust is kind of big. It's kind of nice. Keon Lund, thank you for the $2 donation. Keon, has the NFC Championship, has the NFC West figured out McVay, or is it Thursday night? I think it's more Thursday night. I mean, the Niners have historically defensively given McVay some problems on his offense, and I don't think you can undersell these conditions right now, where it's not just a little like tapping of the rain, like a little bit of a typical Pacific Northwest drizzle. You've got a full-on, pretty close to downpour right now of the looks of things in the stadium. And we saw this a couple weeks ago with much lighter rain conditions in Seattle with the 16-6 game. You turn on the hose, and it's hard to play in those elements, especially for two offenses that are built around more when they want to pass the short passing attack. They're not trying to just hit you with deep shots. And you're going to do those short passes. You're going to do those timing conceptual routes. You're going to have to throw the ball with a little bit of zip in on those throws. And then in these kind of conditions, it just makes it, in the best of times, they can be hard catches because there's not as much separation. You get a lot of contact catch situations going down. So it makes it very hard to get a functional passing attack going. Just more of the conditions, I would say. Plus, I think the offenses have to keep their game plans pretty simple on the shortened week. Peter Van Gent, thank you for the $5 donation to the channel, as well as, again, too, thank you for being a member of the channel, too. Purdy is a great quarterback for the $900,000 he's making. For $50 million a year, he seems bad. Should keep quarterback contracts proportional to the degree that they can carry you. Well, that's where we come back to the thought that came up last offseason and being talked about, some of the owners discussing the possibility of going to a quarterback salary cap, and that them being a little bit limited in what they can make, because everybody's getting paid, whether they're good really at that next level or not, whether they deserve to be at that next level or not. You're the next guy up. you get paid. And I think the NFL recognizes that that's not for the betterment of the sport to do that. It doesn't help teams out in structuring their team out the way that they would like to for the best product on the field. 3rd down and 6 here. Empty look for Stafford. He's going to go to a bubble screen. And very good job of tackling in space there. Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw back in the mix here in this game have helped out the Niners considerably from a run and hit angle of things in this game. So bring a 4th down up. We'll see what the Rams choose to do. Go for it. Looks like they are a good, I would say 3 yards plus, 2.5 yards plus short of the 1st down here. So you can't just do a quarterback dive. Clock rolls, 1:24 to go. Interesting decision to you. Are they just trying to get him to jump off? Yeah, they're just trying to get him to jump off sides. Timeout called. I was going to say, you're going to at least go for the field goal attempt to tie this up at the half with how sacred points are in this situation. You're not coming back and actually going for this. Peter, I agree with you, though. I don't think that he's worth $50 million. I'm not sure that Brock's worth $40 million. And by the way, Peter, we're talking about really a $60 million deal here. He's going to make minimum to what, unless he just willingly takes a discount, he's going to make minimum to what Tua made, or the next over-the-top money of what Tua made. And so I think that your baseline is going to be, you say 50 plus, you're right there. You just go that, I can't pay that price for this guy. There's no way I can do that. I mean, coming into this game, one of the things someone like Jesse would tell you is they'd say, you know, one of the little flaws within his game that is going nowhere that you can do nothing about is he doesn't, and the kick is going to be up and good and tie this one up, is that he's not going to be able to overcome the inability to throw in the elements. He doesn't have the arm that can throw through the elements. And you got 3 points on the board today. Your offense is pretty stilted. You've had 3 9 balls that you've thrown in this game. All 3 of them have been kind of crap from Purdy's perspective. But yeah, you got to be careful when you're going to pay this kind of money. And it's why I think that Mike there with the AZ Cards fan talking about the uncertainty around Kyler Murray, and when he starts to make that kind of money, or any of these quarterbacks are making that kind of money, they've got to be viewed with that sort of, are we sure this is the right deal? Are we sure that this is the proper place to make this money? Because we're talking about a sizable amount that's not just merely, no, maybe we're slightly overpaying for this guy. No, we may be majorly overpaying for the position that we can get a performance pretty close to this without having to pay this amount of money for it. And we'll see if the league starts to make more of a transition in this direction, Peter. I'd say probably not, but I also point to always this being a bit of a market opportunity for those teams that can think a little bit outside the box when it comes to this position. There's this only one pathway we can have of going and getting our quarterback. Just this one, go draft your miracle worker. Yeah, that's a path, but there's some other pathways too to get it done. Jeffrey, thank you for the $5 donation, Jeffrey. So far this season, the Hawks have met my expectations, improving week after week. As little by little, everything gets cleaned up. Playoffs be nice, though. Playoffs would be very nice. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here. Hold on. Playoffs would be very nice. I would consider them nothing but the cherry on top to the season, Jeffrey. And that this was not the expectation that you had to get there this first year. Like you said, there's a lot of things to clean up. Tackling, getting the systems brought on board on both sides of the ball, getting more disciplined, establishing more of a physical presence on both lines of scrimmage, getting an offensive line carved out. There's a lot of gotta-dos to this season as far as just kind of getting things, use your words, cleaned up is the right words, cleaned up. This is a mess right now. It needs to be cleaned up. Boy, they show the Niners almost blocked that one. Guy had his fingers on that ball on that kick. Just the tips of his fingers. And boy, you got some leg on you to blast it through the fingers and blast it through the rain and still put it through. Niners are in an interesting situation here with 1:05 remaining in this half. They're going to take the ball at the 30-yard line after the kick. They've got 3 timeouts, but not a lot's worked for you offensively here to start this out in this football game. But I'm very, very much very satisfied with the season and what we've got from Jeffrey. Loving what we got going into the future. Me and Brendan were talking about it today, and think about just both sides of the ball, how few positions you really have to address that need to go get taken care of. It's defensively, nose tackle, maybe edge. That's going to be about it. LeMay can settle in here. It might just be guard, maybe center, maybe a receiver. You're going to be pretty set both sides of the ball kind of walking into this off season. And that's a hell of a feeling. And just, we still got the playoffs and the potential noise we can make in that playoffs. Good year, Jeffrey. Very good year. It's been a fun one to watch, too. Quick hike after a quick catch here to Deebo Samuel. Brock throws it down into the dirt there to Ricky Pearsall. Why was Ricky Pearsall a first-round pick? Somebody make that make sense. And I see, Megan, you got your don't know there. One sec. Let me get through the half on this one, Megan. I'll pop over on that. So 3rd and 4, 41 seconds to go here. 3 timeouts still left here for the Niners. Rams got 2 timeouts. Rams showing a blitz. Purdy. Another throw over the top. Fourth time in this game that they've tried to push the ball down the field with Brock Purdy, and he just can't make that throw. There was no separation there with Jennings anyway, but he's not that guy. I don't know. That's like a slot fade there that ends up, it's got to be to the outside shoulder of Jennings there on his outside left, and you end up drawing that back to the middle of the field because you can't push the ball down the field from Purdy's perspective. Why are they calling that this half every single play? Did Shanahan pick up sniffing paint again this week? Or did he pick the wrong week to stop sniffing paint? Megan, thank you for the $50 donation. Megan, you're awesome. And thank you again for the other night dropping that $200 drop on the round table. I know you had those boys blown away over there, and I maintain no one's going to match it. There ain't going to be no matching in there on that one, Megan. But thank you for the $50 donation. Happy belated birthday and an early Merry Christmas to you, lady from Danenda. Big time contributor to this channel for many years now. Member of the channel, also our main mod in here. Really appreciate you for all that, Megan. Says, fun fact, B, the 15th of December 2024 marks 40 years since the 12 jersey was retired for Seahawks fans. Still the only fans to have this honor, and I am very proud to be one. It's the part, Megan. Sorry about the nose today, guys. I'm trying to keep it under control here. Quick throw here out of a bubble screen to Puka Nacua. He's going to get himself about 7 or 8 yards here. Clock will continue to wind. Rams just, I think, kind of subtly running this one out and calling it a day this half, perhaps. We've got something in Seattle, Megan, that's unique to us. And a lot of fans can say they're the best, or we've got the best, or we're this, or we're that, or we're America's team. America's team. But we're a fan base that realized this noise aspect and how it affects football games can be amplified and turned up in a way that really can have a tangible effect on the field. And you think about how amazing it is for a fan base that was so new coming out the gate to have this realization, where you had UW, you had the college roots there from a football standpoint, but you didn't have the same pro roots as some of these other places. And yet, right from the shoot, they seem to understand. In the Kingdom, they seem to figure out, we can be loud, we can take advantage of this. And you impacted to such a great degree that you caused the NFL to, force a flag if you got too loud, if the opposition couldn't hear you. If John Elway was bitching and moaning too much to the refs, you'd get a flag thrown out on the fans. On the fans. Just to think about how mind-blowing that is now that the NFL was in that kind of place, and not for a front-running team. It's the part that I always laughed about back in the day when people try to talk about us as being, during the run with Carroll, of bandwagon fans. The reason you're able to pack that stadium every week in the 80s and able to get it loud whether the team was good or bad, and there were times they were bad, or in the late 70s, is because the fans loved their team, and they knew that they could have that impact. And it's a part that I hope, Megan, As you know, I've railed on and hope that we can keep this tradition alive through this next generation as it starts to be somewhat lost for a couple of different reasons, that we can maintain that in that stadium because it is such a huge advantage for your team. And it can be, in many ways, a big time propeller to driving you forward to playoff success. And I believe in it. I trust in it. We got to maintain it, Megan. But you're right. We're the only fans that have ever had a jersey retired to us, and it's not some empty gesture by the front office or the organization. It's not that they were doing it just to be good people. It's that they went, man, we got to acknowledge this. This is something that's very special here. Very special. And you've got supporting data too, right? Like the beast quake, literally causing an earthquake, setting the decibel record. I mean, there's some other outlier facts here that we can add on to it, Megan. It's like the analytics versus the eye test. My eye test tells me that we got the best in the business. But thank you for the $50 donation. That's very kind of you for that. Very, very kind of you. And thank you for that huge donation the other night. Let me get a little more coffee, folks. Be right back. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, that felt like a lost opportunity for the 49ers in that half. They had some good shots in that half to get it done, and it looks like maybe the rain's starting to let up a little bit there, but they've left this door cracked open for the 49ers have left this door cracked open for the Rams. I'm a little worried. Make sure I didn't miss any donos here. Thank you again, Megan, for that $50 drop. You're so kind on the channel. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Everything you do for this channel. Keon, thank you for the $5 donation. Says, watching this trash makes me wonder why the round table is still so down on the first place Seahawks. Jake and his Super Bowl, at least Jesse's realistic with the 49ers. Jake's getting drugged so hard for that Super Bowl prediction. He was even referencing it as we were opening up the show the other night, Keon. And yeah, I think that the Seahawks have a hard time of getting a lot of respect. I think that view of them and where people saw them at coming into this season, certainly what gets colored on top of this is not only where the team's been at recently on this one, Keon, but also the fact that so many have their dark view of Geno Smith and who he is and what he is as a quarterback, and go, I'm down on him. I just don't see him as a guy that can do, they got that weird, hard to pin down, why, like, what has this guy done the last couple of years to get you this? And like, well, man, it's Jets with the Jets in the first night. Like, we're still thinking about that. But they don't buy into it. I mean, I'll say this too, that look at Vegas. Vegas hasn't bought into us either this year. We're a team that's outperforming expectations, not only just in a local fan base, not even in just what you would think from our opponents within our division that are pretty familiar with us, but in Vegas, who's kind of paid to get that part of stuff right, to be on the right end of that. And they had us down to almost 4 points last week going in the Cardinals game. And I know we're favored to be down again this week playing at home against Green Bay. And so people wanted they want it to be proven. They want us to show. But there's nothing these other teams, to your point, Keon, have done to make anybody feel like, oh yeah, well, these teams are just so superior in every way that they've played. You know, maybe it's been a bit of a down year in general just to the NFC West, but that doesn't stop the fact that you've been the team that's riding at this point and up at 8-5 and playing your best football, and it hasn't always been made easy for you. Like having 3 games in 11 days early on in the season, like we did, or the injuries as they were hitting us kind of early on. Yeah, this is, am I the only one who thought Stafford got hit on the head? He got smacked on that run earlier. I couldn't tell if it was neck or, I mean, he got twisted weird. It might have been his head. And they, to your point, Kelly, they haven't gone back to the throw. I don't know if since then they've tried to throw, but like a couple bubble screens since then. So maybe. Zombie says, how do you feel about Brett Coleman saying Seattle won't make it far in the postseason, but they are certainly favorites to have some big upsets and heartaches in the playoffs? Well, teams, that's that thing we go back to, is that I don't think that we can necessarily lambaste anybody that has this like the round table and say those guys are just colored by their biased glasses of the view of their own team and their hatred for the Hawks. This is a feeling of, we are a little bit on our own little island to view this team as a team capable of making any of that noise. And I think that when it comes to Brett's opinion on this, I don't think that he's necessarily operating from what is a wrong standpoint with this one. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings, while maybe only the Lions you truly say would be like a juggernaut team, maybe the Eagles. All 4 of those teams, though, have played competent, consistent football throughout the course of this year. And none of them look weakened by injury in a way right now at this time of the year in such a way as to make you feel like they're going to fade. We have that 5 losses in 6 games, which is going to stick in people's heads, especially when they were as bad of losses as they were. And it's been a great turnaround. But I think that there is some understanding to me of why they would take that perspective of it. I definitely hope that they're wrong, and I can see how they could be wrong, where we're rounding in our best shape, and it's not really about what you do over the whole course of a year. It's really about where you are at the end of the year and how you're playing at the end of the year when you go into the playoffs. Say nothing of the fact that you very possibly are going to at least have at the very least one home playoff game. Long live the king. Thank you for the $2 donation. These SOBs rolling over playing dead at home. Shaking my head. Yeah, sounds like you're kind of in the same place I am with it. All it feels like to me with the defense and the way that they were flying around against that Rams offense in the first half, they're giving your offense some opportunities here. Going, here we go, boys. Here we go, boys. Here we go, boys. And 49ers aren't doing anything to make it stick. On top of the fact that this game plan by Shanahan sucks donkey balls. This is uninspiring play calling on the part of Shanahan. You started out with the ball too. Punt, field goal, punt, 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 punt. I'm not overstating that. That is literally their first half. Oh, lost opportunity. If I'm the Rams, I feel great about this second half right now. I'm feeling wonderful about this second half. We're tied, and we get the ball to start things off, and I'm guessing the rain's going to dip down because reasons. Mega says watching the Kraken vs Bruins made more exciting. It might be today. I didn't see 3-3 at the end of half in this one. If it is raining like that, it's going to be some more brutal ball in that second half. You could see the conditions there definitely held it back. How is that would lose the Rams? Well, they got a defensive line that can give you some problems. I mean, they're not making it easy on Purdy back there either. Kobe Turner and the way they can kind of slide around off those stunts and twists. They almost don't even need to sometimes have a stunt called. They can just slide off of it versus the leverage that they're feeling in the moment. And their guys seem to be on the same page. Turner had that one sack where he's just looping around the guy, and it's almost like they have like a psychic connection there where he's like, all right, I'm going here, and that guy feels it and caves into the inside, giving him that outside to loop around. And just this Rams team put up 44 on the Bills. I think it's that rain, man. It's pouring down legit, and there's a little bit of wind, it looks like, with it, and those are two conditions that are going to shut down a passing game really quick. Grab my coffee. Niners need to get their S together here. Big time. You know what shots that they used to show on these days like this when it was raining, you get really good feel for the rain and how bad it was? They'd show you the flags with the light behind them. They don't do that anymore. Rams take it back out to the 25-yard line where they'll take over there to start out this half. And indeed, it does look like the rain has kind of stopped for a second. Doesn't look like it's falling at all. Not going to bode well for the 49ers. First and 10, Stafford under center. 3 wide. Handoff outside here to Kyron. Kyron cuts it back up field for a couple yard gain. Jeffrey, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate you for that. Very kind of you. Wonder if Shanahan is getting Purdy to fail so he doesn't have to pay him. Giving him 6 30-yard throws in the rain, all part of the plan. He's just knocking off tens of millions a year, game by game, Jeffrey. Bloody brilliant. I haven't seen him go to this many 9 routes in a game in my life with Brock Purdy. 9? 4 of them in a half? Good tackle there. Short gain. This will bring up about a 3rd and 5-ish for the Rams as they again try to run inside. They're just leaning on that ground game right now. But it's wild to watch that first half, Jeffrey. I'm just going, what are we doing? What are we doing here with Brock? Where's the creativity? You're going with Kittle on a 9 route, got your tight end down the field. I know you like that mismatch, but it's a safety. He's going to run step for step with him, and Brock's not going to put it in a good enough spot. I don't get it. 3rd and 5, shotgun look here for Stafford. He's looking. He's got all day in the pocket. Bosa in pursuit. He's finally just going to have to throw this one away. 4th down. Good job by the 49ers with another defensive stand. Yeah, maybe all part of the plan here, Jeffrey. He's like, he heard this week from Lynch. Lynn's like, hey, Brock's people called here, Kyle. Yeah, what do they want? I just want to set some baseline for the negotiations. Okay. What's the baseline? They came in at 55. A year? Yeah, a year. All right, I got this one, John. I'll get this taken care of. Don't worry. But I mean, we're gonna have to negotiate something. No. I've got a plan for this one. It's gonna be raining this week, right? That's what the weather forecast says. All right, I've got this one. 50 million. 55. Long live the king. Thank you for the $2 donations. A salute to the 12s that smacked Vegas on the over on 7.5 wins. I told you folks to do it. I said they're going into the season, so that's going to be some easy money there. Take that bet. Take that bet. Take those odds. Run with that thing. Handoff inside here to Guerrero on first down for the Niners. Nice run inside. One of their better ones of the day there with Guerrero. Good 7-8 yards found right up the middle. But hopefully you guys were able to smack that over. Juicy, tasty bet right now. You made yourself some good money if you did. Niners would love to lock this running game in. Nice block. Well, Kyle Juszczyk got away with a little bit of hold there on that play. 2nd and 2. Handoff back inside to Guerrero. Again, right up the middle over the A-gap. Power run. Just come right downhill with it. And first down run for them. Thank you, King. Jeffrey, appreciate you for that. Come on, Niners. Go get the touchdown here. Ball at the 49-yard line in Niners territory still. 3-4 look here from the Niners. Purdy dropping back to pass. Slings it out wide to Guerrero. Guerrero with a little bit of space to work with here. Nice run and catch for him of 11 yards. Kyle knows really how to use these speedy backs that can just get up to speed with the acceleration really quickly. You don't have to have a lot of vision. You don't have to be a tackle breaker. If you just got that explosiveness to get into gear quickly, he can find a way to utilize you. Some people say it's looking for a robot for the position. I just say he's got a type. We all got a friend that's got a type. Right? Niners over onto the Rams side of the field. Purdy's going to change this up at the line of scrimmage and go shotgun. Play clock winding down. He just gets it off. Ball sails over the... Boy, not Brock's best throw of the day right there. A little in-breaking route to Deebo Samuel, and he whistled that thing well over his head. Oof. Brock. Yikes. Oh, 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 oh. That's this. Yeesh. 2nd and 10. Gets it up here to Kittle. Kittle slung down to the ground here after about an 8 or 9 yard gain there. This might be two down territory here for the Niners. Definitely want to be thinking about that, I think, if you're Shanahan here on the next play with 3rd down and short. That was a brutal throw by Purdy on the previous throw, though. Yikes. Third catch, 52 yards here for Kittle. 3rd down and 1. Long drive here for the Niners here in the 3rd quarter. Purdy runs a quarterback sneak. That's a long 1.5 yards, and he gets it. Didn't see that coming. Well designed, well set up there. He squirmed right through and got that 1.5 yards. First down. Just what the doctor ordered here for the Niners. And getting a little bit of a drive rolling here. It's been tough sledding. First and 10. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Purdy, back to pass. He's looking. Ball's tipped. Gets it out there to Garendo after the tip, who's just able to reel it in. Definitely the throw got affected there. Short, maybe a yard or two gain. Somebody was bearing down there on Purdy. 7-play, 36-yard drive, consuming about 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the clock. Ball on the 28-yard line in Rams territory. Rams showing a blitz off the edge. I don't know, Purdy's seen it. Yikes. Golly. He had a pitch play run into the blitz. Purdy never saw the blitz coming. I would have thought you would have flipped the play to the right side at that point, away from the blitz, or go to something downhill. You know, just stay in the same. That's a play like Geno sees that going down. Geno doesn't just stay in the play. Like, why would you stay in the play? You're throwing the pitch right at the edge safety blitz. Niners offense. Ugh. 3rd and 10. Blitz coming on this play. Got to get rid of it. Oh, Deebo Samuel. Oh, God. All right, 47-yard field goal attempt. Deebo dropped a brutal ball. Niners lose this game. They had every opportunity to win it, man. Like, it hit him in his beer belly. To his credit, it hit him in the beer belly. What are you going to do, man? It's very bouncy down there in that area. The ball has a tendency to bounce off of that. This is why linemen don't run routes. That is a drop that you need that in this game. You need that catch in this game. We're paying you $25 million a year and you can't catch that. Brock couldn't have handed him that ball with the lightest touch that he gave it to him on that play. He just went in the tank, man. Some of these players now, we got to think about this a little bit going into the future with this on these guys, on some of these guys getting paid and shutting it down. Shutting it down. Tell me you're not looking at Deebo the past couple of years. And like I said, some of it is Shanahan pulling the tread off the tires prematurely with all of that usage back a couple of years ago in the playoffs. But some of it's also looks a little fat and happy to me. Looks a smidge fat and happy to me. Deebo might not make it out of the stadium tonight. VB Moore Seahawks, thank you for the $2 donation. Appreciate you for that. Either way, we get to see Jake upset or Jesse. It is a win-win from that side point of it. Though Jesse's so made his peace with the season already, there's no fun in it because he's just made his peace with the fact it's going to suck, where Jake still has hope. So it's always fun to crush the hope on the other side of it. Versus Jesse, who's missing the hope completely there. Feed me. Megan with another $2 donation. Thank you for that, Megan. This is what happens when the 12 support the Niners. I know. It's like Ghostbusters. We cross the streams. We cross the streams, man. We cross the streams. We should have known better. We should have just come into this like, no matter what happens. No matter what, I don't even know what could happen. Whatever happens to happen. We'll make our peace with it. Ugh. Man, they show those ACL surgeries. Those things look so brutal. Good to see Greenlaw back, though, man. So the Niners are up 6-3 in this thing. Still does not feel good. Maybe we got to start flipping this. Maybe we got to start going in favor of the Rams and reverse this thing, huh? I mean, is that kind of what you're saying? I'm sort of with it. It's the least amount the 49ers have scored all year so far up to this point. Might have to go with some different tactics here, Megan. Ski Nation, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, go Niners? We're trying to figure this out right now. We think we might have ripped a fabric in the universe by being in favor of the Niners to begin this off. We might have to correct this one. It's like closing down one of those rifts of multi-dimensional reality. Like, oh, we had a branch break off. We got to close the branch off. Throw here to Kyron Williams underneath. He'll make the catch and run his way across the field to out of bounds. Actually, that's Blake Corum. We got a Blake Corum signing, and the Rams can actually throw the football. They've gone back to the pass. Heavy amount of run here with them. Stafford only 23 yards passing in this game. They've run the ball 20 times versus passing the ball 13 times. Maybe now with a little bit of the rain kind of chilling out in this game, you start to feel like you can make some of your typical throws. 1st and 10. Ball at the 42-yard line in 49ers Rams territory. Throw out into the flat. Caught out there by Long. He'll get out of bounds after about an 8-yard catch and run. Thank you, Ski. Yeah, I guess we'll still stay with the Niners. I'm torn, though. Stafford going to hurry his way right back up the field here and get in position. On a 2nd and 1, he's looking to strike. Comes back down to the check down, and Blake Corum makes the catch, taken down, 1st down. Jordan, thank you for the $2 donation. Says, Debo, now you know why you don't get the ball. You're not going to get the quarterback's trust when I bury it in your belly. When I essentially am able to hand you the ball off and you still find a way to drop it. That's a way to have a quarterback stop looking your way. Especially when there's guys like Kittle and Juwan Jennings that have been very sure-handed this year when he has chosen to go to those guys. 1st and 10. Rams onto the 49ers side of the field. Ball tipped. Oh, my gosh. Another tip from Stafford where the ball's up for grabs again. And there's been like 4 of these in the game. It's slow motion. It's just fluttering up in there. Just, get the ball. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Hufanga just wasn't able to time his leap right. Ah! 2nd and 10. Stafford's gotten away with some stuff today. Yeah, he has. Handoff inside here. Not much to be gained. Keon Lund with a $2 donation says, Debo wants the ball more. That tweet aged well. Just another reason why just stay out of your lane when you start to slide into that diva tactic as a quarterback or as a wide receiver. Because you're going to quickly look very bad the more you lean into it. Unless you're truly goated, don't do it. Don't do it because like that tweet and, people will rake you for it. Like, oh, really? Oh, really? 3rd and 8 here. Niners showing a little bit of a pressure look. They're going to bring it. Ball hit, caught at the 37-yard line here. Puka makes a tough catch there, gets clobbered after the catch. This will bring up 4th down and short. Bit of a decision time here from the Rams. Little drag route across the field there to Puka. Well designed. Stafford and company. Let's see if they're going to go for this, really. Yes, they are. Stafford will get it. Nice job on the quarterback sneak by Stafford. First down. Keon, that tweet did age very well, though. You better catch the ball next time we go to you. I hear you, pumpkin. All right, 1st and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line, 49er territory. Under center, Stafford, handoff to Kyren Williams. Niners doing a good job of playing the run today. They're not getting a lot of penetration in the backfield on Kyren. Rams are at least finding that 2-3 yards in there. They're getting some consistency on the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. With in a game like this, which 6-3, that weighs a little more heavily than a game where there might be a little more offense, especially in the passing attack. They get 5 on that play. Wow, they gave him a good gain on that one. You wonder if they're going to maybe start to break through on this 49er defense. That's Kyron's 17th carry on the game, 23 rushing attempts. 2nd and 5. Looks like we got a false start there by the Rams. Kevin Lonice coming in with we got another $50 drop here. Kevin dropping a $50 donation into the chat. Thank you for that, Kevin. You're awesome for that, brother. I really appreciate you, man. Very kind of you. Says B, this is the hardest thing I've done all year. Hoping the 49ers win feels so wrong. Go Hawks. It does feel very wrong. I've struggled with this one myself today. I won't lie to you that, Rams do win. It's not going to be completely like, there's going to be a degree of that's like, well, at least the Niners are completely dead for the year. 2nd down and 10. Rams catch the Niners on a tunnel screen there. Good job on the catch and run by Puka, picking his way through traffic to get a first down. Niner defense starting to look a little bit tired. Seeing them get some heavy breaths out there. Guys getting off the field to go get themselves a play, get a blow. They haven't run this, I don't think, all game of the Rams. We've seen so much of our team have so much luck on this tunnel screen. And if you get that defensive line getting upfield like the Niners are really trying to get upfield, they can be tough to defend because those guys aren't getting back to help out on the play. Stafford, back under center, first down, ball at the 22-yard line. 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go in this third quarter. Handoff again back inside to Kyren. He finds himself about 4 yards. Those 2-3 yard runs from a couple quarters ago are now starting to go for that 4 and 5 yards. Kevin, you were awesome though, brother. I appreciate that support on the channel, man. Very, very kind of you for doing so. And it doesn't feel good being in these kind of situations. You take care of business. You don't have to put yourself in this kind of position of needing a little bit of help. But it's not like we need the help, but it'd be nice to have. It'd be nice to make that road just a little bit more slicker for us to go get that division title. But we may have to Thanos this thing, Kevin. We may just have to grab the gauntlet and say, fine, we'll do it ourselves. Another handoff here to Kyren Williams. Good job there by, I think that might have been, is that Collins on Collins? That was Malik Collins out there pursuing well. The defensive lineman for the 49ers got right down the line of scrimmage there. He just scraped. Got back in a position to make the play there. Nice job on his part. Big play in this game looming up here, coming up now. 3rd down. We got about 6 yards here. 5 yards. Call it a long 5. Stafford under center. Wouldn't be surprised to see them run this ball and make this a 2-down situation. It's just what they're going to do. It's run the ball. Love the call from McVay there. You're feeling the running game starting to click through. You're feeling it starting to crack. The Niners maybe starting to get a little tired. They're going to expect a pass here. You come back with the run from under center. Really, really nice play call there by McVay. That wide 9 on the Niners. This Rams team can attack that with this running game, and it's not a good fit for this 49er defense. They've done a good job in holding up this game, but Kyron's starting to make some hay now. Hand off here to Kyren. Very nice move by him. A little juke there up the field and gets himself a 5 or 6 yard gain. And the Ram 49ers are moving here. Rams are moving here. Kevin Low, nice man. Big time contributor to this channel, member of this channel, long time contributor. I really thank you. You, Megan, big time donations on us. Everyone else, you guys are absolutely amazing in your support to the channel. And I really, really do appreciate it. Pumpkin appreciates it. Look at this. She's so excited. Look at all the love she's getting because she's so excited by the dono. So thank you for that, man. And that will be the final play here of the third quarter in what has been a very fast-moving football game, as you'll have a 2nd and 3 here when the Rams take back over to start out the fourth quarter. Not a lot of scoring, but this thing's tight. Kevin, you're awesome though, brother. And it will always feel dirty rooting for any of these teams in any kind of fashion, even if it's for our benefit. Let's face it. Jeffrey, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, Bosa has looked very human lately. Jag. Well, he's got 3 quarterback hits in this game. I do think that he's probably playing through still that injury that he had going on a couple weeks ago. And I think we heard that it was both obliques that he was trying to fight through. I think at one point or another, he was dealing with a rib injury this year. You know, you have some of those years where you can't kind of get over the hump as far as the key, you know, you get over one injury and here comes another one, and you get over that one and here comes another one. And it's just kind of, you have those years that play out like that. And especially for a team, I think to a degree on that this year that they're dealing with this, Jeffrey, is the Niners have played a lot of extra games in recent years, and the injuries of a guy like Trent Williams having some of those extra games add up on his body, Kittle fighting through some of his injuries. This is going to happen to these teams that make those deep playoff runs coming back the next year, especially the losing teams, where you're feeling that mileage. You're feeling those extra games. Those playoff games hit differently. They play differently. They're almost like a couple of extra games in one of playing in their intensity and just how they're different from regular season games. And so I would imagine that he's dealing with a little bit of that too here, Jeffrey, a bit. But I think at 100%, he's still a very much a game-changing kind of player. Thank you again, man. Kevin, you're awesome, brother. You guys make this channel go. I appreciate you for that. Jaden says the Niner fans aren't even loud. Actually, a joke of a franchise. Oh yeah, they seem to play pretty good in that stadium, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about the crowd noise in Levi Stadium. They'll talk about the views. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, Santa Clara is very pretty." Vung 512 Debo Samuel's trash. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be long for the Niner world. I think we'll see that guy out on the open market. Maybe the Cardinals pick him up. He said we need that pumpkin love. She needs some love too, man. She needs that deep scratches right now. She needs them deep old scratches, huh? Some of that good lovey. Some of that good lovey. What's that? All right, 2nd and 3. Stafford shotgun trips to the far side of the field. Niners with a 5-man box here, trying to stop the run. Oh, they read option with Staff? Oh! Staff took another good little shot on the sideline there. What's the flag about? Looks like we might have a hold here. Yep. That's big. Big time. They're going to get the tight end Allen for a hold here. Boy, what about the balls to go with a read option keeper to Stafford? Yeah. He even gave a little extra tug at the end of it there. Third down, goal to go. 2nd and 11. Sorry, not goal to go. Aren't they in goal situation? Oh, they can still get a first down. Okay. They're on the 12-yard line. Stafford changing the play here. He is in shotgun. He dropped back to throw. He's under pressure. Man, he got away from some pressure there. Gosh, he's such a good quarterback. His ability just smartly moving through the pocket. He's not a hyper-mobile guy, but he moves so smartly through the pocket and navigating his way through trouble. Right there, it looked like he was dead to rights and just kind of floated right on by. 15 play, 65-yard drive that has consumed 9 minutes and 30 seconds of this play clock on this game. Stafford in shotgun. You got 3 wide, 1 tight end. Dropping back to throw. He's looking again, gets it past 2 guys. A 3rd guy looking back across the field again. Incomplete. We've got a flag on the play. Stafford dancing like a ballerina in the backfield, away from pressure, finding some way. Wow. My man looking more nimbly than Pumpkin. More nimbly-pimbly than Pumpkin. Prancing and bouncing. He's just side like a sidewinder snake, just kind of slipping around him. Niners will decline both of the penalties here. And the Rams will take the 3 points. Interesting there to decline that, because you got to know for sure or hope for sure that the Rams are going to indeed try to take the points there. It's only 4 yards they need, and they can still get a first down in that moment. I almost, if I'm a coach there, might be drawn to say, I'll take the penalty. But he seemed to know that Shanahan knew that McVay would take the points there, I suppose. Field goal here to tie this thing up. 23-yarder. Okay. Hits it. 6-6. Okay. Interesting. Was right. The Cardinal Seahawks game from a few years ago, isn't it? What a weird game. Snooze fest. Stafford got trucked. How about Stafford? He's not wanting to slide, I guess, huh? He's laying it on the line. You don't have to question with him in this game. He's had a couple moments where he could have slid and like, oof. All right, 1 sec here, folks. Well, you can't say it's not going to be an entertaining game. It's not been exciting, but there's an entertainment factor here at least. You guys are wondering about the tie. I guess this enters in. There's a possibility in this game, especially if the rain started back up again. A tie wouldn't be great for us, I don't think, Esteban. We want a win-loss on this one. I can't really see how the tie works out, because if they go to the tie, the Rams go 7-6-1. You get down to the final game. Let's say the Rams win their next two, so they're 9-6 and that's right. The next two, yeah. So you go 9-6-1. They come to that last game. We're 9 and we're 10. Let's say we're coming to that last game. We're 10-5 or whatever, 10-6. Well, if they still beat us in that final game, they could still take it. There's really just no place where to me, I can see the benefit of it to it. All right, Purdy at the 20-yard line to start things out here. Throws it out to Deebo Samuel. Samuel, short catch and run on a bubble screen for about 5 or 6 yards. You have a flag on the play. Looks like they might get Kittle for holding here. An eligible man downfield on that one's declined. Block in the back. That one they'll enforce. All right, 1st and 20, 13-26 to go in this football game. Niners are pinned back at about the 10-yard line in their own territory here. Empty look. Blitz. Tip pass. He's just too tiny. He can't throw over the top of the blitz. Little man. Little man. You're being loud, aren't you? 2nd down and 20. Purdy back to throw. He's looking, lets it rip deep down the field. Can't fit it in there. Cameron Kitchens down there. Jeez, Deebo getting locked up by a rookie safety. Ugh. Ooh, brother. Ooh, brother. This throw right here is why I can't do Brock. He can't put it in there. Oh, you got a chance to catch it. Oh no, I take it back. You suck, Deebo. That's on you, dude. Oh, you got it. Jeez. Did Deebo got a bet on this game? Is he ever going to make another play for the Niners? What is going on with Deebo Samuel? Brock put that ball right in your gut. He pretty much had decided going into that slide, there's no way Brock can fit that ball in here. He fit it in there. Catch that. He just made a big-time throw and a big-time 3rd down. Catch the ball. Oh, man. The Niner faithful is going to skewer Deebo Samuel this week. Oh. These two teams suck. Been a tough game a little bit. It's getting exciting coming down the wire on it, but it's been a little rough. Board Skyler, thank you for the $5 donation. It's a surprise stream. I freaking love this guy. Hot take: Micah Parsons incoming. I've seen it getting more and more warmer in the fan base as far as consideration, and I think that there's a little bit of smoke to this fire on the surface of this thing from all accounts in all directions of this thing, from the Cowboys' perspective, from the Hawk perspective. With all that's going on with the team and the little that you do have to address, you go into an offseason, you have a lot of holes on, let's say, a defense, and you go, okay, well, we have only this amount of assets that we can apply to that. So, how do we got to divvy this up? Versus when you go into an offseason like we are here, Board Skyler, and you can say, well, everything's sort of good across the line. We need a nose tackle and what else? And go, okay, well, we got kind of the room here to do this move then, don't we? We can kind of go, well, we can, instead of having to fill holes, we can take a position that might be, as I say, solid and take it to a difference-making point. It doesn't have to necessarily be just a Micah Parsons on that, but I think he's one that's straightforward, could make a lot of sense. But we'll see how it plays out as we get in the offseason and what the Cowboys look to do on this. They've not been a team that has tended to move guys in-house away. They tend to, when it's all said and done, find a way to pay those guys and get the job done on it and call it a day. But you never know. And we know with John that he's a guy that's willing on those kind of deals to make moves for him when those kind of guys become presented. There's some more smoke to it. The thing that I was thinking about today was John's background with Green Bay, a Green Bay team that was very good at that time, and Brett was emerging, and you had Favre, of course, but then that was where they were able to go in there and get Reggie White and bring him in at just the right time to round out that defense and put them over the top. And John might look at those Green Bay days and think of it very similarly. Like, hey, let's do that again. This ball's going right up over the top deep, and he's got Puka Nacua wide open deep down the field there for a big play, the biggest of the day for either team. It's about a 55-yard completion, just wide ass open. No safety in the middle of the field for Jadarius Ward's expecting a safety in the middle of the field, and nobody's there. Ball's all the way down to the 16-yard line. Yeah, I think the Niner defense has run out of stops. 6-7-yard run there for Kyren Williams. Great tackle there. Gibson with a nice tackle in space there. So bring up third down. Greenlaw back off the field here for Niners here. Something happened with him. 10:28 to go in this football game. Rams changing the play at the line of scrimmage here with Stafford. He drops back to throw. All the time in the world, looking to break the pocket. Comes back on the check down to Kyren. Great tackle in space there by Fred Warner. This will bring up fourth down. Niner defense finds a big stop here in this football game. A touchdown there feels like it's game over if you allow that. Well done. Cardi with the kick. Up. Good. 9-6. Rams up on the Niners. Woo. Yeah, Herbie said that was a heck of a block there by Kyron Williams on the blitz pickup before he, not the blitz, but just taking out the edge and then going out there and making the catch. He's a good player. He's a good player. Board says Uchenna in a second or third for Parsons. You're probably not going to be able to pull that off, Board. Nah. I think Uchenna's trade value is not going to be significant with his contract. You're looking at more of a Hall Mafe. They're probably going to want Mafe. Maybe you can talk him into Hall. To me, the deal that stands out that would be the deal you'd move, and the package that would be, to me, the straightforward package that would entice the Cowboys, I think, in a very big way, is that you offer a Derek Hall, so they're replacing their star edge with a very solid up-and-coming edge who's still on a rookie contract. You give them a Kenneth Walker, which, removes their need from everyone thinking they're going to go take Ashton Genty in the first round. And now you have less of a need to do that, and you can build more to the team. And you throw them the first round pick in addition. And that feels to me just about good equivalency as far as trade returns from the Cowboys' perspective, where they feel good about that. Seahawks with Micah Parsons, that doesn't really, that creates redundancy there as far as Derek Hall still being on the roster at that point. So you're okay with that loss. I'm not sure the team plans on paying Walker. So it's really the first round pick you're out on majorly at that point. I think that would be the kind of deal you'd have to put together. Rowan G, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, Bane, please explode the field. I can't watch this trash. I know it was already as Kevin Lonice was talking about above there on his very kind donation. You feel dirty already rooting for these teams. And then I've got to root for these teams amidst this dirty ass game against this filthy, disgusting. Can you smell? Oh, can you guys smell that? That's the football game. That's the game. Yeah. It's like that. Well, Niners, you better find some offense. And Deebo Samuel, probably not to be targeted too often going forward. Dick the Hawks, the game's on Amazon tonight. Goes to Pete Carroll, says Niners are killing me right now, but my fingers are crossed. Yeah, this is tough. Their offense is, they got Kittle, Deebo. Juwan's been pretty good for them this year. You are down Trent Williams. And I know that the rain was going down, but the rain doesn't really account for the second half. It's been pretty good conditions in the second half. Yuquan Huang says, damn, Brock Purdy in woman form is fine as F. That's Parsons does a little bit banged up. The money part's a part to consider on this. That's for sure there, Misfit. Do you want to spend that money? It's a good debate to be had on that one. Niners are running a little outside zone for a yard or two here on first down. 9:16 to go in this football game. What's the cost going to truly be? What's going to come out of pocket? Can you afford it? I will say the one thing is with that Misfit, you're in a very good cap situation over the next couple of years. So you're in a position to potentially do so. Jack Maloney says, I know we need an O-line, but who would you target? What would you target? Booker? Booker would be the front runner for me. I've obviously not jumped Jack fully into all of the interior guard prospects in this draft to make a full nice catch there into Ricky Pearsall, first down. To make a determination about for sure on these guys, I might have some guys that rise up on my list, but being Booker is one of the early guys, Jack, I've taken a look at. He's the guy that's the straightforward left guard guy you could bring in, who I think is pretty much plug and play. May not have an insane ceiling, but have a very high floor of safety in picking him. And I like that part of it. So He's my front runner as far as left guard prospects go. Banks would be another guy at Texas who I think would be well suited to fit more into interior. I don't think he's a left tackle. Maybe you can grind him out as a right tackle at the pro level, but probably more left or right guard. That'd be maybe another guy as an early on guy I've looked at a bit. But there's some good ones interior line wise. Mr. Dog, I haven't played Fortnite in a while. Last couple times I'd gone on there and played, I didn't enjoy it as much. It got a little bit too just cartoony for me, just too much extra stuff that just as kind of, this is why they're going to the OG modes, is to, go back to its kind of origins on that a little bit, smartly so. I'll probably check it out now that they've got the OG map out, but that's been my issue with it. Brock, completion there to Kittle. Nice job. Maybe Brock finding a little bit of mojo here. Niners creep onto the Rams side of the field. That Fortnite stuff can get tough with some of the stuff, items they put in that game. It's just like, okay. You've been blasted by a light from heaven. Really? They put that in this thing? 1st and 10. Niners at about the 43-yard line in Rams territory. Play action pass. Purdy dropping back to throw, and he's going up top. Another throw down the field for Purdy. Another incompletion. I don't know why the Niners determined that this was going to be their game plan today, but okay. I mean, you're going with Pearsall down the field and off coverage? Yikes. Another failed bomb. What are we doing today? What are we doing today, Kyle? Lyle Shanahan's liling his butt off right now. 2nd and 10. Handoff inside to Garendo. Great bounce by Garendo. Come on, finish that run. Boy, he might have gotten the first on that. Let's see where they mark him. What a crap-ass mark. Great run by Garendo, though. Boy, he's finished off nicely in this game, a couple of runs. Shanahan does not like the spot. Challenge it. Challenge it, Kyle. Gives you some time to think about these next couple of plays and what you want to do. Challenge it. Challenge it. Boy, that was Frank Gore-like. Oh, they got him the first down. Good. They got it right. Looked like you got it. 1st and 10. Handoff inside to Garendo. Swallowed up in the backfield. Yeah, I was going to say too, man. He got that. He finished that run off right at us. Like, what's up with that? Nervosos with a $5 donation says, get yourself a running back who can crush a pass block, then leak out to the flat for a first down like Williams. Amen, man. Most of those guys, it's hard enough for them to just get the block laid, much less to have the wherewithal to then leak out of the backfield and get your head turned around and try to go get that first. Very impressive play. That's an edge that he's doing that to as well, Nervosos. Dropping back to throw is Purdy. He's again going to go deep. And it's going to be intercepted. Are you effing kidding me? Okay. What is going on? What is going on? I told him to stop making that throw 45 minutes ago. You're in field goal range to tie the game, and you're going 9 route city down the field. You just got a 10-yard run, and Shanahan is an idiot. Brock Purdy might be dumber. Make this game make sense with their offensive. I'm going to ask, what the F what were you guys trying to do today? What was the game plan today? The elite receivers you have on the outside are going to take the top of the defense off. Ricky effing Pearsall is going to take the top of the defense off. Like, I'm serious. The cops probably have one of the DUI things down on the field, you know? I know they got like the little carryable ones now. Like, straight up, if I was the Niners owner I'd get down to the field and I'd be like, you know, hey, you cop, come here. It's like, I don't work for, get over here and bring the breathalyzer. No, right now. I know the sheriff of the city. You get over here. Cop's like, I guess I got to come over. Give my coach a breathalyzer right now. Right now. What the fuck? What are you doing? It's a cover 2 show with off coverage. What is the read? It's cover 2 show with off coverage. What's the read? Why is the read deep on that? What in the name of God would tell you that that's the read in that moment? Cover 2 high shell, off coverage corners, and he attacks that? Purdy? That's the dumbest quarterback read I've seen all effing year. Meanwhile, he's got a guy in the flat that's just standing there baking a cake. Just standing in the flat on a 2nd and 10. Fire him. Fire him. Well, Niners had their chances here. I think we could sense this one was going this way. First down catch there. Clock continues to roll. You're right, Yuquan. I'll never be mad at the Niners making dumb mistakes like this, but why can't Shanahan be this dumb in our games? We get the freaking orchestra maestro. Meanwhile, this game, he's like the hobo singing to himself in a dark alley. That's what the Rams get. We got some guy with some 10-syllable name, you know. Rams over there, they get. Look. Meanwhile, us. Yeah, the Niners defense don't have any more stops. They've lost a little bit of they already lost a little bit of error there with Dre Greenlaw going out. And he really brought them a little bump there when he came back in to start this game out. When he went out of this game, you've seen Kyron finding a little bit more room, and you're seeing the holes opening up a little bit bigger. And it's probably also got to be in conjunction with the fact that from a Niner defensive standpoint, your offense has done nothing in this game. Nothing in this game. And so you're getting tired. You're getting wore out. Greatest defense, the mightiest of effort. You know, you can only hold up for so long when your offense is this inept as they've been today. 1st and 10, ball on the 46-yard line. Comes down to this. Play action pass. Ball's going to be complete. Colby Parkinson makes the catch, gain of about 6 yards. Thank you again, Novrosos, for the $5 donation. Appreciate you for that. Kyron's a real good back, man. He's a good fit for this offense, too, for their kind of line, the way they want, the type of offense they want to run. Jordan, thank you for the $5 donation. He says, I don't want to hear from any Purdy apologists that he is better than Geno. Nor do I. Nor do I. And maybe that'll be the place that I'll lead to with Jesse in this one of, you really believe Purdy's better than Geno at this point? You really want to still stay with that take? Still want to own that one? That's a first down run for Kyron Williams. Niners are just tapped out. They're tapped out, Kitty. Aren't they? I think they're out of gas, don't you? Okay, come here. It's okay. Come here. I know what you want. I know. I need you to comfort me. We didn't get the Rams lost tonight like I needed. I need extra cat love to get through this. Yes. Extra. Extra. 1st and 10. This will be the last play taken to the 2-minute warning. The Rams are on the 49er side of the field at the 39-yard line. Handoff inside, another 5-yard gain. Yikes. Well said, though, Jordan. Don't want to hear any Purdy apologists. And I don't think we hear much from our chat on that, but, we're certainly going to hear it from Niner fans. And, I'm maybe less so after this game. This is going to sit as a pretty sobering moment, I think, for a fan base looking at a guy that's going to want $50-55 million a year. Defense gave you all those opportunities in this game, and look, Debo was trash. He was worse by far. And there's some throws in there that you can't put on Purdy on that you go to. But I agree with you where it's like, look, his limitations are what they are. And, in some ways you could maybe see to agree here as Purdy finishes this year off, and maybe it's somewhat of he's still dealing with a bit of that injury. Remember he had that arm injury. Maybe he's still kind of dealing with that. But he's also come back down to earth a little bit here when he doesn't have all of his shiny toys out there to utilize either. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? 2nd and 7. Niners call the timeout with 2:09 here, their first timeout. Video Game Sports, thank you for the $5 donation. That one play alone should officially eliminate all the Purdy defenders. Worst quarterback in the division, and it's not even close. I think you do got to look at it more and more and say system quarterback. He's done some things that have been good, and he's certainly been very impressive for this Niner team, but he's been set up in that position for success over the past couple of years in a way that's very unique throughout the NFL, and which a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't have that same benefit of. And it's, as always with these quarterbacks, it's a different discussion when you start talking about 40, 50, $55 million. That is a throw that is inexcusable. I've thrown that at times on Geno on a couple of those red zone ones. That might be worse than some of Geno's plays because that was unforced. At least on Geno's red zone interceptions, you more often than not can at least find pressure bearing down on him and oftentimes bearing down quickly. He had a clean pocket there to ascertain what was going on. They showed cover 2 before the snap. They showed off coverage before the snap. As a quarterback, if you see off coverage with cornerbacks, you're typically going to operate from the assumption that they're dropping to a cover kind of 3 drop post snap. They're going to drop to maybe it's quarters, maybe it's, just pure like a cover 3. Cover 2 might be trail coverage, but if it's a cover 2 trail coverage situation, you're going to run them more up and press, which would have then more told them to go to the 9 route. But when they're in off coverage and you got the safeties over the top, think about it like this. You've got 2 guys up to go play that very route that you're trying to attack with. How do you think functionally in your mind that you're going to hit that as a quarterback? Again, too, you've missed it every time in this game. Every single time you've gone to that throw in this football game, you've missed it. Every time. What breeds the confidence in that moment for you to be like, let's get ballsy with this again. Let's throw this one out up the flagpole again on this. 0 success on the day, and very little success with Purdy on those kind of throws anyway. But he's got a limited arm. Video Game Sports, Jordan, it's limited. It's very limited. And you get to this time of year with conditions and wet weather, which is the way the NFL plays, where at the key moments of the season, wet weather, windy weather, inclement conditions, That's what you're by and large going to be facing when you get into this playoff time of year. You've got to have the quarterback who can throw through those elements. It's that big reason I always go to when I talk about quarterback evaluations where I say, look, arm strength is cliche. And I know a lot of people will tell you like, no, give me processing, give me anticipation. Look, and my number 2 thing is processing, is an ability to, read what you're seeing on the field and actually go through that and see it clearly. So that's my number 2 skill, but arm strength remains number 1 because I can teach a guy to get better at processing. There's certainly guys that are special at it. I can get better, getting that better pre-snap reads and what he's seen out there. I can't improve arm strength. I really can't. That's set to what it is, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So it's when you're missing it inherently as a base skill, you can have all these other things you do well. You can have a little bit of the quickness that he's supposed to bring, which where in this game was his use of his legs. All these guys got mobility from the quarterback position, never want to use their legs. Like, again, another thing, we play Purdy and he uses his legs all over the place. This game, does he have 1 scramble? 1 carry for 3 yards in this game from Brock Purdy. Can't do it. Certainly can't. I wouldn't want to roll with it as my number 1 quarterback, and I absolutely positively would never want to be paying top-end money for that as far as paying high prices for it especially. 3rd down and 4. Stafford an empty look here. Cooper Kupp going in motion. He wants to go there. He's coming back wide open to Parkinson. 49ers just blow the coverage completely on the play. Completely blow the coverage and leave Parkinson wide open. I don't know if they were trying to shift the coverage over to Puka or Cooper Kupp. Game over. Keon, thank you for another $10 donation, Keon. Very kind of you, man. I really appreciate that. And appreciate all the donations and support today. Another member of the channel, too. I think you should start bashing the NFC West quarterbacks not named Geno at the round table. These guys should have 6 picks and managed field goals. Geno is easily the best quarterback in the division, picking up slack for years. I'm definitely going to go a lot harder on the Brock Purdy side of it. I'm already there with the Kyler Murray thing, and I think that there's few in that round table anymore that can sit there and look me in the face and tell me that Kyler Murray's a better quarterback than Geno. I think Jesse's going to have a hard time of doing it as much as in Jesse's the biggest anti-Geno guy you'll find, Keon, as far as his outlook on him. Like, he thinks he's garbage with it. But you can't tell me that Geno wouldn't have gotten more points to that 49er team if he was their quarterback tonight. Somebody was talking about earlier on this, if Geno Smith had been the quarterback for the Niners the past 2 years, whether or not they would have a Super Bowl championship. And my answer would be probably they would. And in a game like this, to stay consistent on that, if you have a Geno Smith out here for the 49ers at quarterback, you think he's only got 6 points at this time of the game? You think that's all he's putting, that's all he's got? And you're right about Stafford. I do think Stafford's been playing really good. Jake certainly overstates it when he starts talking about Stafford being the 2nd best quarterback in the sport. He, like Jake will do sometimes, he'll take it a little bit too far past the mark. I think Stafford is a very good quarterback. These conditions definitely hindered that offense through the first half. But you saw in Stafford, there is that inherent part of his game that always exists where over the course of the game, if they can't just lean on the run and keep him down to a low volume of passing attempts, he's going to make a lot of high line throws. He's going to give you a couple of opportunities throughout the course of the game with interceptions too. And it will come down to then the key of it being of he's going to get his over the course of that game. Do you make those interceptions stick? Or like what happened with the Niners today, you drop those passes. You drop those opportunities. Niners had a couple of moments in this game to put this thing away and put it away probably pretty early if they had secured those picks. But that's really a key you see with Stafford. I've seen it with us playing him a couple times. And that's when, if you play the Rams and you have moments like that early in the game where he throws it into your guy's hand and that goes right off the hands. We had this a couple weeks ago, right? Remember the Rams game in Seattle? Ernest Jones, interception right to his hands, dropped it. My gut dropped in that moment for this very same reason, where you go, hell. He isn't going to give you a lot of those. When he gives you those opportunities, you got to take advantage of it. But Stafford had a leprechaun up its butt today. I think he had 4 or 5 opportunities out there to give the 49ers some chances to take it back, and it just didn't happen. Didn't happen. But I'll let him know, man, Keon. I mean, we're at the end of the year now, and I'll be like, you guys have, I think I've got to officially come at them, Keon, especially if Gino goes out and plays a really good game this week and saying, hey, are we all ready? I know I've got fun. Jake's at least started to come to the side to understanding Gino's a good QB. I mean, maybe I can come to the other two guys and go, okay, have you guys started to realize now that, your outlook of Gino was one that was colored by a view of him of the old, or a view of him of what you thought he was and not of who he actually is? Hasn't he outperformed your guys' a vision of who he is? And when it comes to Jesse, he's dug in. I mean, he's dug in like it's a World War I battlefield, and he needs to have a little foxhole. He's got that thing. He's cooking in there. He ain't gonna leave it. But I'll push him on it. It's gonna be fun to watch him twist a little bit on this one, because this is a brutal game from Purdy. 14 of 30, 142 yards and an interception, and that final throw being the worst throw of the day when you needed it. I talk about Gino being clutch. Games on the line, when you need the throws, when there's no more room for error, when you got that final fourth quarter drive. That's where you can see a lot of the mettle of a quarterback. That's where you can see what they're truly about. And a guy like Purdy, not put into a lot of those moments in these last couple of years where you've got a chance to be kind of front runners. Here, given that moment, you're not having to make a lot of high line throws on that drive. And you make a brutal mistake, a brutal error right there at that time, on top of having a poor game. Some of it's not his fault with the Debo stuff, where Debo's just god awful now. This Niner fan base is going to be depressed. Can't blame them. Misfit says, we need something to cheer us up. Is it cold in Santa Clara, and where are the cheerleaders? It gets a little nippy in the down in California in the winter. 4th and 3 here, trying to get the Niners to jump off sides and just eat the clock down to 19 seconds. Oh, we got to handle business, folks. Got to handle business. I guess I suppose at least the Niners are put to bed. They're done. They're done. Gosh, some opportunities tonight to go get it, though. Yeah, it goes to PC. Stafford threw four interceptions this game. He got away with it, man. You go, ah. You got to get him, because he'll get you on the other side. He'll find his throws in there. He'll make his plays. He's too good of a quarterback not to. Snap is down. Kick is up. Field goal's good for the Rams. So 18 seconds left to go in this football game. They're up 12-6. Niners have no timeouts remaining. And we know with Purdy, if he's got to throw a Hail Mary ball, he needs to be at like the 32-yard line in Rams territory to make that throw. He's not throwing it from like the 50. No effing way. Keon Lund with another $2 donation. Thank you for that, Keon. Really appreciate you. Says, this makes me not scared for week 18. That's fair. I mean, do the Rams look like they're rolling into their sharpest shape right now? Maybe not necessarily. They were able to escape with a win last week against the Buffalo, and they escape in this win, but they're not, winning in, dominating fashion. That's for sure. It's going to be a tough game for us. I'll tell you that, if it's on the line, and that's what the game's going to roll to at the end of the year at that point. Sure would like to just win the next 3 games and have it not matter. Long live the king. Thank you for the $2 donation. It says, root against the Commanders now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we want to see them definitely drop back. I mean, any of these wild card teams that are in the run right now, being the Packers, Vikings, Commanders. Excuse me. Deebo Samuel takes it back on the play. Looks like you might have a flag for a horse collar there. But you want those teams to lose. You want the pathway to be that you can get in the playoffs both by the division and by the wild card, King. You know, the wider the path, the better for us on that. So there will be a horse collar flag on the Rams at the end of this run with Deebo Samuel. That will extend this out 15 yards. Nolan with a $2 donation says, Brock Purdy warming up his arm. It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it, Nolan? You can't warm something up that's always cold. It's always ice cold. Yeah, so here they are at the 50-yard line. You guys are going to get to see what I'm talking about. Watch them not decide to do the Hail Mary from the 50-yard line because they can't trust his arm strength. So they throw some BS check down throw to Deebo Samuel. And then Deebo Samuel, they try to do the whole lateral move thing. And I don't think he's got the arm at the 50-yard line to get it there, Addicted. They may try to push this up another 10 yards, but I don't know if he could throw it from the 40-yard line in these elements to the end zone. I think even that would be a challenge for him. Yeah, Purdy ain't no prime Russ. You ain't getting a moon ball. You might get a worm burner, but you ain't getting a moon ball. Let's see if that warming up got him there, Nolan. I will laugh my ass off. I would have put money on this. If he's throwing it from the pocket, if he's 5 yards back in the pocket, he's not running up to the line of scrimmage, there's no way in God's green earth that he's getting this ball to the end zone. No way. No way. He'll put this at the 5-yard line. And that'll be kind of perfect for this game, quite frankly. I think that will put a nice exclamation point in this game. And Purdy's better off kicking it. Get him to muff. What is a worm burner? It's when you throw a pass so low that you take out worms. All right, he tries to throw it out to Parasol in an out route there. No dice, 6 seconds left on the clock. Not a great throw. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, they're going to get sacked. Rams bring a blitz and Purdy gets sacked. Well, he got himself sacked because he knew he couldn't make the throw. He leaned into the sack. He's like, I'm not going to get this thing down there. That's way too far. There's no way. I hate both of these teams too, Riverside. I really do. I really do. All right, so the Rams go to 8-6, and they're not going away anytime soon. Niners had all the opportunity in the world to go and take this game and come away with the victory and make this thing happen, and they just couldn't do it. That kind of season for the 49ers, they've had a lot of games a bit like this that have been in their grip, that have been there an opportunity for them to take, and they just couldn't pull it off. So you look at your team at this point and your record and where you are and how you're losing games, and you are what you are in that way. And that you have a theme like that in the way you lose. It is who you are. It isn't we came this close. We could have done this with this bounce or that bounce. That's who the identity is of your team in that given season. And this is who the Niners have been this year. This is maybe one of the more hallmark moments of it. Here's a stamp of it, right? Here's it put in concrete and wet cement to dry for a full off season. But they've got some major decisions to make this off season, and not a lot of easy options in the directions that they can go here, in my opinion. Not a lot of easy directions to go here. Lost opportunities. And boy, Deebo Samuel. You talk about falling off and becoming a shell of yourself. Wow. Wow. I suppose we would think that we'd see it more with some of these players that are making the money that they're making. You you sign $50 million guaranteed money, you laying your body on the line anymore, Like, you're probably going to, human nature wise, pull it back a little bit. But yeah, Dizzy, you're right. Jake's going to be tough to control this week. To him, this 12-6 game looks, I'm sure, like 42-7. He's going to say, we put the clamps on that 49er offense. Bop. You go, oh, God. Like I said, there's no way to avoid it. We're going to have to deal with this at the end of the year in the final game, I think. Kind of, I don't know, unless they can find a loss or two in here on this stretch here with the Rams down the end of it. But, Wu-Tang Financial, thank you for the $5 donation, and I really appreciate everybody today, all the support in the channel. We had a couple $50 donation drops. Really kind of you guys on that. I really thank you for all you guys do for this channel. Wu-Tang says, neither of these scrub outfits deserves the postseason. We need to win the division, not just for us, but for the culture, for the NFC West, Wu-Tang. We can't allow these sad sack teams to be allowed to get in. And I agree with you. We're the ones sliding in a position to go take this. Now is our time. Now is our way to go in here and get into our best form, get to our healthiest, be playing our best football on both sides of the ball. Hell, throw in special teams on top of it. When you factor in, you might have removed some of the issues you had there with the fumble rooskies. So get yourself in shape, get yourself that position. Everything is in our control right now, Wu-Tang. We don't have to rely on this team to lose or that team. We control our destiny here. Quite frankly, I think we go through 3 games of these next 3 games and get 3 wins. I think we're going into that final game where the Rams find another loss on the schedule. I do. I don't know where to land, but I think there's another loss there to be had. And if that's the case, you walk in that final game and you not only control your fate, you've set yourself up for almost a de facto bye going into that final game of the season for then to set the stage for a home playoff game. So you have every opportunity to do that now. You've put the work in to put this stage, set the stage up. Now we just got to perform. Now we just got to finish this thing off. We're down the home stretch here. And we do control our fate, and that's the part you like most, is that you at least control your fate here, Wu-Tang. But hopefully we can do it. I don't want to see the Rams in this postseason. I don't. Then Aaron Donald's going to unretire, and then, oh my gosh, insufferability, here we come. John Naylor with another $2 donation says, Debo, a.k.a. D-Bozo. Boy, he was Bozo-like in this game, and he's had some brutal moments like he did in this game this year where you look at it and go, ooh, you could have had that. Oh, you could have done something there with that. Where's the tackle breaking ability? This used to be a guy that never the first guy brought him down to the ground a couple of years ago. He always got through the first tackler. Didn't matter who it was. Now, every time you see the first guy rally up on him, he brings him right to the ground. But that one miscatch late in the game where Purdy really does make a nice throw there over the middle. It's a tight window, and he's going across, and that ball slips right through his grip. And you're just looking at Debo there going, dude, you got to make that catch. That's your catch to make there. That's not that hard. You're sliding. You're able to cradle it on into your body there. You're not like picking it out away from your body and high pointing a ball. You're going to hear the Niner fan base, I think, very much in favor at this point of moving on from Debo after this year. And I would be hard pressed to see them not do it. How do you look at him going forward and saying this is a guy that's helping us win games, especially for the price that he's costing? Sad part is that you could go move him and you're not going to go get a whole hell of a lot for him. I mean, what is his value out on the open market at this point? 4th rounder? Especially for what you're going to pay for a base for him. 5th rounder? Do they have to just release him and post June 1st designate it? Niners in some troubled shape here. There's a reason Jesse says it'll be 2027 before we get to compete again next. There's a reason. Keon Lund, thank you for the $5 donation. Says best thing about this is now Gino, who loves a challenge, has to step up. I'm excited to see what he does with a good defense and a run game. Agreed. This is a place where you want your leaders, you want your quarterback to come in and play his best ball here, and a place where I've given Gino a lot of room on this, Keon, to say, okay, there's some reason why you might not be able to play your best ball. Defense is not doing the best. You don't have a very consistent ground game. Your pass protection isn't holding up. But if all three of these things start to come together for him and come really far from where they've been, he's getting set up for success at that point. It's being allowed to go from, hey, I've got to climb uphill to get us to the top, versus we're on top of the hill, you're going down with some speed at your back. And I am of the belief that if you give Geno that you will see that best version of Geno, that you will see him able to take that opportunity, Keon, and maximize it to the ultimate. We've not been able to consistently give him that environment here over the past couple of years. So it'd be tremendous to see, especially at this time of the year, as you're heading into the postseason with so many opportunities here right at the end of your fingertips. So well said, man. He's going to get that opportunity now to show. And you've got two home playoff games coming, I call them playoff games, but you got 2 home games coming up here against tough opponents, but you are at home. Chicago game on the road, winnable. Maybe a Chicago team that's kind of checked out, at least by the way that they looked last week against the San Francisco 49ers. And then that Ram game at the end of the year. So 4 games left. Let's close this out. Let's go make some noise in that postseason. You know? And thank you, Keon, for all of your support today to the channel. And as always, all your support to the channel. Mark Sanchez, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, Niners are going to bomb in the offseason. Are going to blow it up in the offseason, I think is what you said. They very well might, Mark. The problem is they put themselves in this pickle here where they don't really have an opportunity to do it. By the structure of their contracts and the way that they have buried bonus money and option bonus and voidable years on deals, you're paying guys into the future so much money that you just don't have that flexibility to really turn it over to where you go, okay, we're going to eat $57, $60 million of dead money this year, but then we're going to flip it over to next year where we can turn it right back. It's one of those ones where it's really going to cost them 2 years of turning it over to get it to that place because they kind of have to wait till at least next off season to start to pivot off some of these bad deals. I don't think that there's a significant amount of money to be saved on Debo. A Javon Hargrave contract you're stuck with, where the best case scenario you could do to get out from under that deal would be to save $4 million, but you'd be eating so much dead money to make that happen. This is all part of the pickle they put themselves in here, Mark, with that cap situation and these contracts. Bare minimum the base down to almost nothing, and then stretching out that bonus money as far and wide as you can to the other side of it. They've kind of screwed themselves over here, and that's what's going to prolong the suffering and the misery for the Niner fan base and getting this turned back around. And especially with, okay, you don't want to sign Brock. Now what are you doing for the quarterback position going forward? For a team that's quasi maybe in contention, does Trent Williams play again? Does Christian McCaffrey play again? It's looking as dark as possibly it can look for a Niner team right now heading into this offseason. Say another fact that there's even rumor, do they look at moving a Shanahan? Does Shanahan look at moving on? Brutal. John Naylor, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, I'm waiting for the long snapper to choke Debo. That would have been a boss move if the long snapper came over and was like, get it in gear, and just gave him a little, just even a slight shove. Wouldn't even have to be like full force, but just kind of gave him a little bit of a pop. Be like, how do you like it? And that's the thing with this, the Niner, I think, team right now, and Jesse talks about this, is that this has been a yippee-yappy team. This is a team with a lot of that swagger of we're all that, but you ain't won nothing. And if you're going to act like that, you're going to be out there choking your long snappers and talking in the media and tweeting about how you're open and bop-a-da-bop-a-da-bop, if you're not going to take responsibility and you're going to be like, no, I'm fine. I'm not part of any problem. I'm doing great. And then you are right there on national you're right there on national TV getting exposed for that very thing that Niner fans have been talking to you about being. It's a bad look. It's the worst of looks. It's why I would caution receivers to ever lean into that diva-ness that's always kind of pulling at them, right? They always have that there's always that little bit of a draw to turn into a diva, even the best of guys. Fight against it, man, because it'll end up being a bad look on you when it's all said and done if you lean into it like he has. And it's the worst thing for the Niners on it, because not only do you have a player who's nowhere near as good, as you don't even have an ability to go and offload him then for capital to offset that, get draft capital back or save some money. That's where I say they are stuck, folks. Niners are stuck. There is no just quick pivot here. This thing is going to be a very slow pivot if that's what they're going to intend to do. And they very well may just intend to try to double back down and to be like, oh, give it an off season, let everybody rest up, and it'll be fine by next year. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so. Thank you, though, man. Appreciate you, John, Mark, all of you guys for the donations in the chat. We probably will get this wrapped up here. We've gone a little over 3 hours today. This is my third show of the day here, so we probably will start to put a little bit of a button on this one. If you can for me, folks, hit that like button. It does help out the channel. Helps me show up on all of the streams that we want to show up on and get people looking at the channel. And we're trying to get to that 19.5, and we're motoring along. We'll get past, I think we'll get past 18,400. So we'll be right within about 1,000 of that 24-hour stream that I'm going to get set up here as we close in on the season. So thank you to all of the folks for all the donations and support today. Thanks for hitting that like button. Thanks for watching along with me here. Wanted to do this stream. This was a very important game. Major implications for this playoff run here for our Seahawks. So figured you guys would be connected in that same way. Jack Maloney asks, if we beat the Rams, do we have the tiebreaker? Sadly not. This is a little bit of that feeling from my standpoint of we get to that last game of the season and it's sort of all roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to you having to beat the Rams at the end of the season. Because if you have the tiebreaker with the Rams, they've now gotten their third NFC game, NFC West divisional win. So what it comes down to, Jack, is if we get the win against the Rams, but then we both have the same tied record at the end of the year, the Rams have the tiebreaker then at that point because they will have more divisional wins than we have. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head, but because then you would have split the head-to-head record, then they would have us one out because they would have had more probably divisional wins at that point, I believe. But it could also get down the line with how this could go where we end up with both four NFC West. So you end up with the tiebreaker not going on the head-to-head between us and the Rams. You then end up with the divisional record not being a separator there because we both have the same divisional record. So I believe it could come down to even common opponent on this one, Jack. And that one I'd have to double check on the surface of it here. Common opponent, we might be able to get them. We might be able to nick them on that one. They did beat the Bills. We lost to the Bills, but they lost to the Dolphins. We beat the Dolphins. They lost to the Bears. We might beat the Bears. We'll see what happens with them and the Jets. But there is maybe an opening there where we get the tiebreaker there if it went down to like the third rung on down. It's not division games, it's conference games. So I thought it was I thought it was head to head. Then it's who's got the better divisional record. And then I thought it was conference. But yeah, it's kind of irrelevant, King, because it then goes to, it's either common schedule or conference record. I forget which one it is after that, but you're right. It's still tied up either way. So it still presses it to the next thing, basically. There's a lot of ties on this one. Yeah, there's a lot of ties that go down on that one. It may come down to the common opponent thing because you look at there's one tiebreaker that it gets down to on the line where it's the common opponents and where's your record on that one. So it would be that, essentially that Jets game, Bills game, Dolphins, Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions, the cumulative record there. But even that might be tied when this all gets said and done. So this could get real tangy with some of the tiebreakers. It could get real tangy. Yeah, Andy Pinto, no to Deebo Samuel in Seattle. I'm good on that guy. I've seen enough. Mark Sanchez, thank you for the $5 donation. He says, this is for all the DK haters. You know who you are. DK might get heated sometimes, but he doesn't whine about not getting the ball. Simply be grateful for him. Be grateful for him, Mark, and that's why he's been one of my favorite players since he's been here. He plays hard every week. He does the little things right. Not a perfect player, but he's an impactful player. He helps move the needle to us getting wins on a weekly basis when there's a lot of players on this team through the past couple of years in his time here in Seattle that haven't done that haven't held up their end on that side of it. And there are people that want to paint him in that way of being a diva, Mark. They'll want to paint him the way of what we've seen from Deebo this year, choking out your own teammates on the sidelines and then da-da-da-da in the media and this and that. That's the way that you'll hear some of the fan base try to paint DK in that fashion. And that's not been who he's been. It's not an accurate portrayal. It's where they start to try to stretch to make that suit fit. And it doesn't fit. It really doesn't. But you're right. You see him out there trying, and they're looking for any opportunity they can. If DK steps anywhere near outside the line in his behavior on the field, they're ready with a see. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't see. I'm not seeing the same thing. Grateful is what I see. Grateful he's on our team. Grateful he's part of this crew, and I would anticipate at this point he's going to be signed to that contract extension. Mark, hard not to see that's the way that this team goes with it. Thank you, man. Appreciate the donation. All the support. Vimy says, what happens if the Cards sweep the Rams? What happens then, B? Well, I mean, it depends a little bit on whether or not the Cards finish out with that same record tied with all of us. It all gets a little bit weird, and you got to let the schedule play out on all this because there's interdivisional games that still go down. But as I understand it, it's essentially head-to-head. You wouldn't be able to just solve it by that, where you would have us with the head-to-head advantage over the Cards. The Card was the head-to-head advantage over the Rams. We might be split with the Rams. Rams might have the advantage over us. It would then go to the divisional record. Divisional record would be hard to say on that one, where we might be left out in the heat on that one, where the Cards and Rams might both be at 4+ wins and we're still at 3 because we only have one more divisional game left to go get another win with that Rams team at the end of the year. Part of why I say it comes down to at the end of the day where it really does get simplified here. Certainly you go get 3 wins. Here's the way I think I'd simply put this. If you get the 3 wins in a row right now, you set the stage, in my opinion, without knowing how the stuff goes, to where you're not going to have that final game of the season matter for anything. You'll have the division wrapped up by that point. You'll be good to go. If you lose 1 game over the next couple, say lose 2 games over the next couple, it's coming down to that final game of the season, and you've got to win that game. And if you don't win that game, you're not getting in. Maybe you can slide in by the playoffs, maybe, but the chances get really slim at that point. So it all ends up coming down, I think, to very much some of the same kind of thing here, Feed Me, which is take care of business now with the 3 games or take care of business later. But it's got to be one of those two. Got to be one of those two. Donnie, it's good to see you in the house, man. I hope you're having a good night. Jack says, I got the 150th like. Who got 200? Hell yeah. Thank you for hitting that like button, folks. I really do appreciate it on that. Jordan says, I think I absolutely need to win 3 straight. Otherwise, it's coming down that last game. That's it. You got to win all 3 of those games to make it not come down to that last game. Otherwise, it is. And there's no way about it because of the tiebreakers, because of this and that. There's no way kind of around that. And so they've got the opportunity. And that's where if I'm the Hawks and talk about being hungry and saying, hey, here's what the chances of what you could do right now is I'm head coach Mike Mallon saying, hey, you guys take care of business with these 3 games. We get to Chicago. We're to that Thursday night game. You make that 3rd game in a row you've won, then at that point, you're getting a mini bye to that next Sunday. I can rest many of you in that Sunday game where you play very little bit to set the stage for the playoffs the next week. I can get you guys into that position, have you fully rested for that playoffs where you're going to get a home playoff game, but you got to win the next 3 games to make that happen. King says, yeah, I just double checked, Brandon. If the Rams beat the Jets and the Cardinals and Seattle wins one of the next 3 and beat the Rams in week 18, they have the same record for common games as well. Well, then it's going to work. It might get down to a coin flip with this one, King. We're going to be down to like the 7th item on the tiebreaker list at that point. I don't even know where it goes to at that one, quite frankly. You've done division, you've done common opponent. Maybe it's conference at that point. The conference gets overridden, then I'd have to look it up. I don't know if I've ever seen the tiebreaker go down that far as it would at that point. That would be pretty crazy. Cool, but crazy. Ethan says, Hawks Nest, just sit and think about this. Sometime next summer, breaking from Adam Schefter, 49ers are signing quarterback Brock Purdy to a 4-year, $240 million deal. $60 million a year. I would laugh my happy out. I'd be laughing equally at $50 million a year. It would make me giggle endlessly. I'd go, yes. Just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper, San Francisco. Just get to the dark depths of that hole. Get into that, just into that, just can't even see the sun anymore. Ran the Cut says, if you get far enough down the tiebreakers, they become silly. They do. Yeah, they be. And did you have an aunt that lived in Kansas? Yes. All right, you got the division. Really? Okay. Could you imagine the division comes down to a coin flip? You fight all year long and heads or tails. Really? That's what we're doing here? Mike, Hawks Nest, Geno is one of the best quarterbacks in one possession games. Niners could have used a guy like that right now, about now, huh? I think they could. I think they could have. And yeah, I think you look at them and say, in Brock, you know, a guy that's been able to play with a lot of leads. Does he have that in his game? I know Gino has that in his game. I know in these one possession games, I know with the game on the line, with a fourth quarter comeback, I got to go get some points with under 2 minutes and one timeout. I know I can trust in Gino in those moments. Now, Brock tonight had some opportunities and chances, and plenty of time in this game to go make it happen, and wasn't able to do it at any point in time. Cordes is the only time I'll ever root for the Niners. Shaking my head. Me too. That's a one-off. I don't like how that felt. I'm going to have to take another shower after the stream. Mike says next tiebreaker would be strength of schedule, strength of victory, then strength of schedule. So strength of victory, that's where the Rams might. So the Rams would have the Vikings. They would have the Bills. I mean, those are the real strength of victory ones you got there, right? Like, they've got some easier ones on their schedule too. You have a loss to like the Dolphins, but you know, we'll have had the Broncos. We'll see on the Falcons. That one's looking less like a quality win with more time. They might have us nipped if that's going to be the case on that one. They got that Bills. They got that Bills and Vikings win to the Rams. That does carry a little bit of weight on that one, so that might be the one where we lose that tiebreaker. That'd suck. I wouldn't dig that. Marcus says if Seattle ends up with the same record as the Rams, we're still very much alive for the 7th seed. True. True. Very, very true. King says, oh God, if we have the same wins in conference too, if we go 1-2 the next 3 games. Yeah, I will have never seen it go down that far in the tiebreakers, King. Never will have seen that. Playoff machines, says Jacob, for ESPN. I'll check that out. Play around with some scenarios. That's cool that they're doing that. What's the Packers Seahawks score? We just need the Commanders to tank. Yeah, that's all we need. Just got to get those Commanders tanking. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's just have it not come down a tiebreaker. We just go and take the next 3 games. Rams drop 1. It's game over, man. It's Aliens game over, Bill Paxton style. That's all we got to do. So he just says, I'll be honest, I'll feel at least halfway okay if the Commanders lose 2 games down the stretch. I would too. And they have been fading a little bit lately. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Rams got the tiebreaker if it comes down to it, says King. Yeah, so the advanced tiebreakers, they'd still come out with it then, probably, the way it looks to me. The strength of victory schedule, they're going to have us beat out because they'll have the Bills and the Vikings on there. And some of our strength of victories, like the Falcons or the Broncos games, might not hold quite as much weight. Had our share of beating some 500 teams this year too. So definitely a part of the process there. Of course, haha, I caught 1 minute live earlier. Niners won. They did win. Damn it. Mike, Pete could never get over McVay. It is a must that Mike gets over the hump that prevented Pete from succeeding. We must beat those pesky Rams in their house. Whose house? Hawks house. Yeah, hopefully we'll take that stadium over if it comes down to that. And you're right. It's got to solve McVay. Got to find a solution there. And McVay has had some success, or a little bit of success, at least against some of the defenses tried out by McDonald, the styling of that defense. So it'll be the chess match, man. VB More Seahawks going to finish us off here with the $2 donation. Thank you for that. Feed Me says, B, look on the reports on DeAndre Campbell. Look on the reports. What's the reports I'm looking for? I'm doing a quick search here. I don't see anything popping up. Devondre Campbell. He says he quit mid-game. Devondre Campbell quit mid-game and left to the locker room. He did a Vontae Davis. Oh, my goodness. Oh, when it's the end, man, you know. I guess when you sense it's that way, it's that way. Washington's got the tiebreaker too. I don't think feed me, you know, Campbell was kind of getting to the last stop as it was there with the Niners. He wasn't going to get probably a starting opportunity, and he was really brought there as much as anything for Dre Greenlaw and to sort of give them time until Dre could be right. And he didn't play particularly good for the Niners this year. And so a guy's just probably come to the end of the line. Good player once, maybe not quite the same, but understandable that, I mean, not understandable, you call it mid-season, mid-game, you know, but stuff can go this way sometimes, I suppose. You know, and Joshua, yeah, the Giants game, definitely, that loss still just looms so big over the top of us this season. Losing that one at home, you should have come out with the win on that one. And what a difference the schedule looks like down the stretch if you had taken that win versus the loss. Yeah. Devondre Campbell, as what I'm hearing from the guy that quit mid-game there, Jordan, their inside linebacker. But I get it, man. I can understand on that. Like, I don't get quit mid-game, but when you're done, you're done. It's a game where you got to have your full spirit in it to do it right. All right. I want to thank the sponsor of the show today, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy's been sponsoring us throughout the course last couple of years, kindly so to do that. You can still take advantage right now of their current code they have ongoing here, which is my code, NEST, NEST. And when you use the code NEST when signing up to Underdog Fantasy site for the first time, they will match you 2 for 1. So $100 down, $50 back in your pocket, $500 down, $250 in your pocket, up to $2,000. You'll get $1,000 matched by using my code NEST, or click the description down the link down the description below and go there and get into some great contests. If you lost your fantasy, I'm going into the playoffs this upcoming week myself, into the second round. Maybe you're already out of the playoffs. Well, recoup some pride right now. Get yourself into some final weekly playoff runs here as far as fantasy goes on Underdog. Go head-to-head for somebody else. Go win some money going head-to-head, or get in the over and unders as we get down the line in the season. A lot of fun bets to get in on that. But use my code today. There is some limitations that do apply in the state of Washington. But if you are in a casino in the state of Washington, you can use the app in full on their network. But thank you to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the show. I appreciate it. And are you referring to Devondre? Yeah, Devondre Campbell is the one that he's meaning on that one. He said DeAndre, but I think he means Devondre. I can't see a note coming from the story saying that happened, but we'll see. Goes to Pete. Rams got an easy schedule. Hopefully the Cards smack them again. Maybe they have their number. You never know. The Cardinals are going to have to be fighting their same butt off with that same sort of urgency that we saw a bit from the Niners, at least their defense tonight. Maybe you'll get that same thing from the Cardinals. Maybe we're just a tough matchup for that Cardinal team as well. Jordan, the guy that quit mid-game was Devondre Campbell, inside linebacker for the 49ers. And yeah, Jacob, Jets game's no easy peasy one either. I'll tell you this, Jacob, that Jets team is still playing hard. They've not rolled over and showed their belly so far this year. They're still fighting in these games. So make of that what you will for the upcoming matchup for the Rams here into next week. But we got to take care of business. Robs, it was a tough game to watch, man. That was brutal. Sean says Washington needs to let us bet outside of the reservations. They really do. I don't know. I mean, it's loud in California. You know, and so you can't just say, well, that's just the, politics of the state with it. No, they allow it down here. I don't get why they don't. And I hope it eventually here does open up. That'd be cool. Ricardo says, Matt Barrows, odd situation. Kyle Shanahan said Devondre Campbell told the 49ers he didn't want to play and he left the game in the third quarter. You just walk out to your car still in pads. That sad sound of your cleats clicking the concrete as you're walking out to your car. Click, 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 as you just quit. Awkward. A little bit awkward. All right. We'll wrap it up on that note, folks. I thank you guys for watching tonight. But if we beat the Vikings and Packers, that would bump our strength of schedule a lot. That's true. That's so true. I hadn't thought about that, Jacob. Those would be two big quality wins that you'd have that you could match then the Rams' quality victory with what they had on the Vikings one. You tip for tat that, and they didn't beat the Packers, so you got that one. Now, they do have the Bills on the other side of it, but then we maybe got the Broncos that could overrule that. Boy, I don't want it to come down to that. I'll just say it. I don't want that to come down to that. Let it come down to us. We closed this thing out. We snatched it. The last game of the year don't matter. We were just too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Couldn't deal with us. That's the way I want to see this. Robs, we got to win out. You say it right. I'm not in the mood for a final game versus the Rams to decide who makes the playoffs as a division leader. I don't want to go into LA, right? You don't want to go to LA. We all know whose pocket the refs are going to be in that game if it comes down to the final game of the year on the road against the Rams. We need to prevent that from being a possibility because we ain't getting that bump, not in their house, not with that Rams franchise. Let's take care of it. At Dead Center, I'm going to have that heart attack right along with you in that week 18 if it comes down to that. That's another reason I want to avoid it. King says, Brandon, if you beat the Packers and Vikings, then you would take the division. Well, let's just, double dip it down, be it the division or be it the strength of schedule thing, either way. Make this undeniable that it's our division and it doesn't come down to that final game. Please, God. Adam's the Gamer, have a good one, man. Appreciate you. King says, or you only beat one of the Packers, Vikings, then you lose against the Bears. See, there's where that could come back into play where you've got that overriding factor a bit, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Ghost PCs, appreciate the stream beep. I appreciate you guys jumping on in. A little surprise stream today. We had a really great turnout, which makes me happy to see. I want to get more of these this year as I could, and I'll try to do some more down the line, especially if we're in the hunt like we are here on this. So expect more of this stuff. Want to try to dial this up for you guys, especially as we're getting hot down the road here. And especially if we get into playoff action week, you can probably count on me streaming just about every day of that week if that's going to be the case. We have that short week coming up. A couple weeks from now, Chicago week will be a little bit of a shortened week. Tiny bit on this one when you're a Sunday night. Brian says Cam will be cut by the time the shower's over. I think he's probably out of there. He's probably out of there, retirementville. There's a chance we do finish 10-7 as long as the Rams beat the Jets and Cards and the Commanders win 2-2. You're eliminated. Okay. Yeah. We always come down on this scenario. A couple of these scenarios we're dialing up, King. Bottom line of it is that you want to avoid it and not have it come down to that as a tiebreaker. Doesn't seem like it works in your favor. There's maybe some ways it could kind of if things shift in just this general place, but don't let it come down to that. Control your fate, control your destiny, take control of that fate and destiny. Go get these next couple of games. Yeah, they're two tough games coming up, but these are games that are at home, not on the road, not 10 a.m. And that Chicago team looked like they were definitely thinking about Cancun last week against the 49ers. Take care of business, control your fate, and then anything can happen in the playoffs. I'll be back with you guys here on Sunday. Big game coming up here against the Packers. Sunday night, prime time. A lot laying on the line here. Let's see if our Seahawks can keep making it stick. Let's see if they can stay hot. They can just keep cooking it up to this postseason play. Let's see if we can avoid that last game of the week of the season mattering by taking care of that business over the next couple of weeks. It isn't going to be easy. But that's why it's the NFL. You got to earn your stripes. You got to earn your way in the playoffs. Nothing is going to be given. Niners had every opportunity tonight, and they, as they have all season long, weren't ready to step up to the plate. But I think we're ready to step up to the plate. So dream big, Seahawks fans. Let's go get this dub. You're in that stadium this Sunday. I want you fully throated. I want you looking around. If anybody's quiet around you, you say you get up. You get up in this house. That's what we do here. That's the tradition that has gone back many generations now, and we will abide to that tradition. So you go in that stadium if you are in there, and you make sure you let them have it on that Sunday night, and let's go get this victory, and let's keep the good times coming. And I don't know, let's just go ahead and take the damn division while we're at it. My name is Brandon Kane. We're on a hot streak. We're top of the division. I shouldn't have to remind you about this team, but I'm going to do so anyway. Don't you ever forget. Go Hawks.